Hello and welcome to Sri Lanka's number one sports hub, the Papare.com. We are live from the SSC tennis courts for this first Capital SSC Open Ranking Tennis Championships 2023. The gentlemen's singles final between Sharmal, Dissanayake and Chathura and Nilaweera, which will begin in a few minutes' time. We had the ladies' final in the morning, with Sajara Razik winning 6-3, 6-4 against Nilaweera. As I'm joined in the commentary box by one of the two tournament directors of this first Capital SSC Open Tennis Championship 2023, Shamika De Silva. Very good afternoon to you, Shamika.
Good afternoon. You welcome all tennis fans around the world and in Sri Lanka. We are happy to bring out this gentlemen's singles final live coming from SSC Tennis Center. We have two players who are having a lot of excitement going behind them coming into the finals. We have Sharmal Dissanayake, a Davis Cup player, former Sri Lanka's number one, in one side, and also we have Chathura and Nilaweera, up and coming youngster, who's also a very high ranked player in the junior section as well as in the men's. Going against each other today, so I think it will be a very power-packed game from what I can see. I feel that there will be a very closely contested match today.
Yes, indeed. I think we've seen a lot of Sharmal Dissanayake throughout the years. We know what he has done and what he could do, and also, like you said, Chathura, a youngster coming up. So it's a match between the veteran and the youngster, like we saw in the first women's final as well, with going up against Nilaweera as well.
I think here we have the experience versus, I wouldn't say, but Chathura also has played in a lot of international tournaments in the last couple of years, been trained overseas, developed his game very well, and coming back to, I think, his first SSC final here in the men's section. So we are looking forward to a very power-packed game. Both play a very similar game from the baseline. Sharmal will overpower his ground strokes. None of them are very strong net players, but I think they will probably test each other out by going to the net as well. So I think a person who has variety of the game and also the tactics behind their game will probably come out the winner today. So we look forward to it.
Yes, indeed, Shamika. I think we've talked about the players, but just tell us what sort of work that has been done to set this tournament up, the first Capital SSC Open Championship.
Well, it's been a challenge actually. We've had a few interruptions from weather, and the weather gods have been very kind to us today. So we are hoping and praying that we can get through the men's final now, and hopefully we can get through. This will be best of 5 sets. So for the first time, I think we are playing this year's tournament. This is a Category 1 tournament by SLTA. So we have the privilege of taking the first Category 1 tournament in Sri Lanka. Also, I mean, we've had a good crew on the grounds working, and day and night putting the courts together. And of course, the players have been very cooperative, and the tournament staff, the officials have been very affluent in getting this event together today. So we are very happy to be here, and I think in a few minutes we'll be starting the match. They're taking their serves now because there's a limited number of minutes that they have to warm up. So I think let's see how the things are going to roll on now.
Yes, indeed, and a special mention about the sponsors as well for the championship. The main sponsor, First Capital, and Yeti, Demo, Pereira & Sons, and 3G Sports, all coming together to make this tournament a success.
And Yeti also coming as a hydration sponsor, so hydration partner for us. So we are having a very good turnout of tennis fans so far today. I think we'll probably get some more coming in as the match progresses into the afternoon. So I think players are getting ready now. We'll be getting underway very shortly. The weather is overcast, but very comfortable temperatures, and I think it will be helpful to both players. The sun is not there, but there's a light breeze from time to time, so that will also affect the game a little bit of some of the shots that they are going to play. But I think overall the conditions are very, very good and very favorable for both players.
It will be Sharmal Dissanayake to serve.
Both players, I feel, will start, I think, hammering away from the baseline. So until they get a good feel for each other. So I think they're going to test each other out first few games to see which areas that they can find the weaknesses on each other. So it will be, I think, a testing phase first, and then they will, I think, open up the games to their favorite shots. Going very, very strong on the baseline from Chathura and also from Sharmal. So at the moment, I think they are also going to experience and get to know the court conditions as well. We have had some very dry weather as well as rainy times, so the court is fairly well seasoned now, very favorable and not too slick as well. So I think it will be a good exposure to both of them to keep their maintaining their games as they have been playing before.
30-15.
Just looking at how they made into the final, Sharmal Dissanayake defeated Zaidzia, the third seed, 6-4, 6-4 in the quarterfinal, while Chathura Nilaweera went into 3 sets against Dumindu Dilum, 6-3, 5-7 and 6-1 in their quarterfinal. And Sharmal Dissanayake defeated Gayangu Weerasekara 6-2 and 7-6 in the semi-final.
And Chathura had a very good and a close semi-final match against up-and-coming youngster Kiran Vairavanathan. It went up to 3 sets and I think close to a 3-hour match a few days ago. So I think season-wise, I think Chathura has the edge in having a little bit more exposure to his opponents, whereas Sharmal would have had a little bit more faster matches, coming into the finals. But all in all, I think they will match up quite well.
40-30.
Yes, indeed, and with Chathura's games being so long, it will be a test for him, especially when it comes to fitness in this final match as well, with the championship going into 5 sets as well.
I think it will be a test for Sharmal also. He was playing a lot of tennis and for a while he did lay off for a little bit. Now he has come back. So I think that the test for endurance is also definitely going to be a key factor for both of them. But hopefully the weather conditions staying like this will help each other both to conserve their energy as much as possible. But I think the endurance level will also play up.
Yes, indeed, much more pleasant conditions in the morning and in the afternoon as well. Hope this stays that way. And if I'm not mistaken, Kiran Vairavanathan, I think, came into the final last time around.
Yes, Kiran was the finalist last year, and he actually had a good tournament this year as well. But very close match, he went down. So Sharmal, I think, is playing at the SSC Open after a couple of years. So he has been playing in the past, but not in the last 2-3 years that I can remember of. Now see Sharmal winning his serve and leading 1-love.
Love 15.
Chathura, the second seed, coming into the tournament.
Fault.
Very power-packed ground strokes coming from both of them.
The rebounder sitting up nicely for Chathura Nilaweera for that forehand winner.
30-15.
Very delicately played by Chathura.
I think interestingly, both are keeping the ball so closer to the baseline, but they are also testing to see how the drop shots are working. I think both Sharmal also, I'm sure, will do the same in the very near future, I feel, because both are sitting very comfortably on the baselines and hammering away. So it will be a matter of time somebody will take the net as well, but for now I think they are going to test the waters from the baseline and see how it works out.
14-15.
Shamika, before the match started, you said both of them are not that great in their net play as well. How do you think that will pan out throughout? Because someone needs to take charge and do something different.
Well, both can play the net, but they prefer to stay on the baseline and maybe take an opportunity when they are given to come up to the net. Not going to consistently push to go up to the net, nor go behind the serve. So I think very soon, I'm sure one of these guys are going to be trying to change the game by going up to the net by at least putting the opponent off the court as much as possible. So I think that will be kind of interesting to see the change of strategy on both of them.
Indeed, the final would test your limits and force you to go out of your comfort zone as well.
We now have a score of 1-all, and going forward, still they are not going 100% on full thrust on their serves yet, but still getting a little bit warmed up for the conditions and for their style of play. So I feel that they will crank up their pace on the serves as well as we go into the latter parts of the first set.
All. Out. 30-15.
Both players trying to execute from the baseline and try to make the rally short, but the power play from both are coming, and I think each other they are responding very well to the hard hitting coming from their opponents. So I feel that they will somehow they continue to battle from the baseline and see how far they can go with that kind of a game plan. Soon I think they will go up to the net as well.
Excellent bit of play from Sharmal.
I'll read the top shot very well, and both players I think will try to get the other person closer to the net when they're rallying from the baseline. So effective drop shot probably will help each other to get some points scored here.
Out. Use.
And Shamika, executing net play is an art as well, right? I think on that occasion, the earlier one, Chathura decided to stay at his baseline as well after putting that drop shot, which made it easier for Sharmal to execute his drop shot as well.
Exactly. I think what they are doing is they are not going to come on their own to the net, but they will go in if they are called for. So very soon I think they may test the waters and see by taking the net on their own and moving in on the shots. So hopefully I think the game will probably have some changes. Here comes another drop shot from Sharmal, and a return drop shot by Chatu, which put Sharmal by surprise, I think. So right now it seems like a battle of who's going to put the first drop shot first. So let's see how it goes.
Yes, indeed. This time a good response from Chathura.
Sharmal continuing to force the ground strokes and keeping Chatu on the baseline. So that's probably the more comfort zone for Sharmal right now. I think with his serves coming in at full pace, I think that will help him to get an edge on the points, hopefully.
Out.
Unfortunately for Sharmal, it has gone out. An unforced error from him.
I see a slight increase on Sharma's pace on his ground strokes now. Seems like he's going to try to work on those and maybe start coming to the net a little bit to make the points a bit shorter. Let's see how that plans out for him in the future in the next few games.
Out.
Very interesting point. Sharma very
Advantage,
steadily hitting from the
Dissanayake.
baseline, hitting some very solid forehands and backhands, and Chathura also even picking up the pace even faster than Sharma's shot. So they are, I think, going to try to go into a very hard-fought battle here. All the signs are there for it. And going 5 sets, I won't be surprised if this goes into a little bit of at least a 3 to 4 set match here. But let's see how everybody will hold their fort as we go into the match today.
2 games to 1.
Yes, indeed. As Sharmal Dissanayake leads 2 games to 1 in the first set of the first Capital SSC Open Tennis Championship. Gentlemen's final. Sharmal Dissanayake against Chathura Nilaweera. Sharmal leading 2 games to 1. Players just like you said, Shamika, just getting warmed up for this big battle up ahead.
I think they are also going to be looking at conserving their energy also, because both of them know that they will probably end up having to play a little longer than a normal final match that they play in a regular tournament. So I think that's also in their mind as they are going through the first 3-4 games of this set here.
Yes, indeed. I was going to come to that as well, because it will be in their back of the mind, because I think the first set, of course, they will take it easy, but when it comes to the second and third, depending on how the sets have gone, it's a matter of conserving your energy. And the fourth and the fifth set, if it goes to that, it will be unknown territory for both of them as well.
I think it's good that we are introducing the 5-set format, at least at this stage, because these kids, when they go to international tournaments in the open men's circuit, they'll definitely have to be playing 5 sets. I think Davis Cup also, in the higher areas of competition, they go for best of 5. So I think SLTA has taken a decision to take these to 5 sets for the category 1 and the major tournaments of Sri Lanka. So I think it's a good opportunity for these kids also to be more conditioned as well. But it will take a little time for them to get used to this.
Yes, indeed. That's a good initiative from this SSC, from this tournament as well, the first Capital SSC Open Tennis Championship. And you need more matches like this that has 5 sets as well. Like you said, especially when you go into the international circuit, you need that experience as well as
Sure.
getting used to the fitness and conditioning as well.
Sure. We've had numerous situations where in international competition our players have fallen slightly short because they couldn't stand to go into the 4th sets and the 5th set. So we have had our past share of experiences on this. So this, I think, is a good start for us. So let's hope that we continue and maintain this kind of standard, so they will be more prepared for international tournaments.
Exactly, I think the most recent memory that, especially in the Australian Open, we saw Andy Murray was down 2 sets and down 5-2 in the third set as well, but went on to win that match. I think it was around 4 a.m. when the match finished as well. So that shows how much fitness you need, and also the composure, the conditioning.
Very true, very true. I think most international tournaments now we are seeing a lot of long drawn matches coming because of the level of competition is so stiff and so close from each other. So it just comes down to a few points at the end of the 5 sets, which will make that decision who's the winner and who's the loser. But at the end of the day, they all have to be able to withstand a good endurance levels to keep that up. So.
Game, Nilaweera. 2 games all.
We are right at 2-all right now. I think still going on serve, so not having too many difficulties to breaking each other's serves. But the drop shots are still continuing from each other. So I think for now, I think they are going to be very comfortable with this kind of format. But Sharmal, I feel, is now picking up a little bit more authority on his ground strokes and making a little bit more powerful returns to Chathura. So let's see how Chathura will react to that in the next game or two.
I think Chathura Nilaweera won a couple of points from those drop shots as well. I think he will try to gain an advantage from those on that occasion. However, he was unsuccessful.
Chathura has a very fighting attitude, so he is not going to give up a single point. Even if the drop shots are onto him, he will definitely run it down and try to make it over the net. So he is not he's a fighter. So even on the 5th set, he will give it a big fight. So Sharmal, of course, with his experience, he will probably try to dictate the points. So I think that's what Sharmal is hoping, that he can take control of the game, at least in the first set itself. So we'll see how it goes.
Game, Dissanayake.
We've seen Nilaweera's fighting spirit in the quarterfinal and in the semi-final as well. All 3 matches going into a third set as well, as Sharmal Dissanayake now leads 3-2 in the first set against Chathura Nilaweera. I think overcast conditions here at SSC would help these players as well if it goes into a 5th set, a 4th set or a 5th set.
I notice the wind has completely died down, and feel a little bit of sense of humidity also going through right now. The weather conditions somewhat changing from morning, so I think the players will have to adjust as we go through, because maybe humid conditions may prevail a little longer. So they'll have to maintain a good hydration level as well, so to keep the energy levels up for the next 2 to 3 sets, which they will definitely have to play.
A lot of youngsters here at the SSC courts to witness this final. Again, another drop shot.
I think the mix-up of the ground strokes and a drop shot is really going for both of them. Both are using a very similar strategy. So none of them are changing that for the moment. So giving very powerful ground strokes from all directions, and then figuring out the opening and trying to pull the person up from the baseline to see how well they will react. So it seems to be a very common strategy for both of them so far.
We've seen some unforced errors coming from Sharmal Dissanayake in that earlier
30-15.
backhand as well, but this time brilliant winner going right across Nilaweera.
Sharmal is getting a good read on Nilaweera's serve on the returns, I feel, so that itself will probably give a chance for them to
40-15.
take the control of the point at a very early stage. Again, Chathura going with a drop shot of Sharmal's return, and I think it's an exchange of drop shots going from each other at the moment. So let's see how well that strategy will last for both of them.
This time an error, unforced error coming from Nilaweera. It's 40-30.
Game Nilaweera. 3 games all.
We are going on serve up to 3-all in the first set. Guys, we have a making of a very long set coming here, hopefully. I think it will be some very exciting tennis for all the fans who are out here. Anyone who is at home who would like to see it live in action, in person, please come down to SSC tennis courts. I think you'll hear the loud thunder of all the ground strokes from both of them, from what I can hear.
It will be Sharmal who will be serving, and yes, indeed, I think both players are not letting up, especially in the first set, because it's a psychological advantage as well. Winning that first set, it calms your nerves as well.
Very confidently Sharmal taking the strokes from the baseline and moving Chathura around. I think along with the power, I think Sharmal is also working on getting the shorter shots off the court to pulling Nilaweera onwards to the sidelines to get that opening for him to continue. So I think Sharmal will definitely go with the power play and then taking the shots more to the half court where he can pull the opponent out.
Ball. 40-15.
That backhand straight to the net.
I think we have to give a commendation for our little ball boys who are helping us today, giving some support to the players. We are very thankful to Anupa's Academy for providing them, and it's a good experience for them also to see the caliber of tennis that is being shown today with the two finalists, which I think they look up to at their age. So now again we are on serve going up to the latter part of the first set at Sharmal leading at 4-3.
Yes, indeed, and especially at close quarters as well. You don't get to see that often. Sharmal leading 4-3 in the first set.
As we are progressing into the latter stages of this first set, I think key point will be who will break the serve first. So I think that itself alone will probably decide the winner of the first set. So I feel that the pressure is on the person serving to maintain holding their serve, because from what I can remember from the beginning of the first set, there has not been much challenge in holding the serve. So the server is kind of like dominating the game. So we'll see whether if anyone can draw blood in getting the serve broken of the opponent.
Yes, indeed, we saw a lot of breaks in the ladies final earlier today. between Sajida Razik, who defeated Nilaweera Vansa.
Well, it's correct. I think there were lots of service breaks here and there, but a total different situation with the men's final here. So both players very confidently holding their serves on their own. So we're looking at 5-4. Sharmal leading, Chathura to serve.
I think in the ladies' final, Nilaweera Vansa managed to break, but in that next game she wasn't able to hold her serve. So that's, I think that's where it went all down for Nilaweera.
Out.
This time Sharmal Dissanayake was up to the
Love
task,
15.
was able to recover that drop shot.
I feel Sharmal is starting to read the drop shot a little bit more than the first few games of the first set so far. So Chathura, I think, will probably have to look at that again, continuing to do the drop shot, but somehow I feel that Sharmal might be starting to get a read on the drop shot a little bit more than he did at the beginning of the set.
I think Nilaweera has understood that the drop shot will be his main weapon in the afternoon. Nilaweera once again making the experienced Sharmal Dissanayake.
I honestly feel that this will become a contest of who has the most effective drop shot for the day. And if anybody wants to get a very good lesson on the timing and the rhythm and the distance of a drop shot, here you go. Today is your chance to see all that. Two very experienced and powerful players changing their game to a drop shot at the end and winning the points. So any youngsters out there who are watching, this will be a great lesson for them to see.
Powerful forehand, not able to recover on that occasion by Nilaweera.
I think Nilaweera had the reach for the shot, but he was again trying to put a drop volley. I feel that he thought he might have a better chance of pulling Sharmal to the front, but good effort on his side. But Sharmal did a good return on the run.
40-30.
Much more closer game so far. 40-30. Nilaweera serving.
Ball. Use.
Again, Chathura trying to pull the drop shot on Sharmal again, but ball fell a little short. If it was over, I don't think Sharmal would have been able to reach the point of returning.
Yes, indeed, I think it was spinning away from Sharmal if it had landed on the other side.
Out. Advantage, Nilaweera. Use.
Sharmal would sense that this is an opportunity for him to break Nilaweera's serve, and at a crucial stage of the set as well.
Seems like Sharmal is returning well on Chathura's serve at the moment, so trying to push that point for the break point here. Chathura, on the other hand, is playing a little bit defensively, trying to keep up with the pace. So
Ball.
we see a double fault coming from Chatu, and I believe we are seeing the first
Advantage,
break point of the
Dissanayake.
set so far, if I'm not mistaken.
Ball.
Well,
Use.
very well played point by Chatu, putting the drop shot and then charging the net to cut the angles on Sharmal and save the break point. We are back to deuce.
Ball.
So
Again,
the first break point was saved.
I think for Nilaweera, he hasn't been landing his
Advantage.
first serves, and
Dissanayake.
once again a double fault, back-to-back double faults coming from Nilaweera.
And putting the break point to Sharmal again. So this might be of a point where Sharmal will really look to convert here.
Use.
And again Chatu wins with the drop shot going at an angle, and we are back to deuce. So they're both capitalizing on the drop shot on every other point, or at least every few points, to get themselves back into the game. Another drop shot.
Advantage.
From Nilaweera, and Sharmal came towards the ball, but hit the shot that just went off the line. Advantage to Chathura.
Nilaweera only making his life difficult.
Ball. Out. Game. Nilaweera. 4 games all.
Back to 4-all on the score, having 2 break points for Sharmal that couldn't convert. So we are back again with a very close battle here, going on serve. So we'll see how Sharmal will try to regain the lead as we go into the 10th game of this match.
Yes, indeed, and that was a close game for Nilaweera.
Play, please.
On a couple of occasions, Sharmal Dissanayake was on the brink of breaking Nilaweera's serve.
Out. 3 love.
A powerful forehand, unable to control it.
Sharmal picking up the pace again and taking command of the ground strokes now, trying to put Chaturya onto the sides, or putting him into a defensive situation as possible.
Shamika, in a game like this, where you know your opponent will go for the drop shot more often than not, what can you do as a backup?
Out.
I think
30 love.
reacting, in my experience, if you are going to expect the drop shot, always keep that in the back of your mind and not be prepared to run diagonally or sideways, but always be having the back of the mind that you may have to run forward. So I think being a couple of seconds having that preparedness is what's going to help you to probably cover the drop shot. So always having to remember that.
Ball.
And with Sharmal Dissanayake having a very powerful forehand, you could push Nilaweera
seconds
back
up.
beyond his baseline as well with those ground strokes.
I think so, because that's what I think Sharmal is doing. He's trying to overpower the ground strokes and get a shot from Nilaweera to either to go for a drop shot back to him, or to draw the ball away from Nilaweera to the open court. So he's trying to at least get that one hard shot and then hopefully have a chance of going for a drop shot or to another angle of a ground stroke. So
Ball. Sharmal.
And from Nilaweera's point of view, you shouldn't be too predictable as well.
Ball.
Very correct. Very correct. He's have to try to keep up and try to break that command that that Sharmal is looking for, and for him to take control of the ball.
Out. 30 all.
It's a matter of mixing things up this time around. Unforced error. Ball going long. Wonderfully done by Chathura Nilaweera. Backhand winner down the line. And here's an opportunity for Nilaweera now to break Dissanayake's serve.
Deuce.
Luck.
Sharmal takes a very lucky break here. He was driving a very hard shot and it clipped the net and totally took out the speed of the ball, where Chathura was taken by surprise. So a break for Sharmal to hopefully hold his serve on the next point.
Advantage Dissanayake.
Dissanayake now with the advantage to hold his serve. This time it's Sharmal with the backhand winner. The sun slightly creeping through the clouds now.
Deuce.
Once again it's deuce. Another forehand winner from Chathura Nilaweera.
Chathura is stepping up on his return now and taking those down the line shots, which he's quite capable of, and taking his level up to the next.
Advantage Nilaweera.
We now see another break point coming off Sharmal's serve.
Deuce.
And a winning for double-handed backhand cross-court by Sharmal, taking the ball straight out of the court and keeping Nilaweera at bay. So we are back to deuce. Both players, I think, are going to be pushing very hard to break this point, at least this game, to see who can come out ahead. And it will be a very pivoting point of the set as well.
Yes, indeed, Shamika. I think we saw that in the earlier game as well.
Advantage Dissanayake.
I see the levels of speed completely taking an upturn on both players. Both hitting the ball very hard and trying to force the shots to the opponent. So I think both are going to be very keen to see how best they can take a game here. Sharmal still having the advantage.
Again, luck with Sharmal Dissanayake as it goes long.
Dissanayake lead 5 games to
And
4.
Sharmal Dissanayake now leads 5-4 in the first set.
Having fought a couple of break points, I think Sharmal really lifted this game up to the next notch. So we are at 5-4 with on serve going, as we can see. Well, I will now turn over to my co-tournament director, Mr. Aruna Seniviratna, to continue the broadcast from here. So over to you, Aruna. Here we go.
See it. Hand you over to me.
These are some of the highlights from that earlier game. Lot of drop shots. As I'm joining the commentary box by Anurag Seniviratna. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon. So That was a service that was held by Sharmal with a little bit of difficulty, but we're back on serve now. Hi Michelle, there were no breaks so far. I think although there were breakpoint opportunities for both players at earlier stage, still on serve. So Chathura will be serving 4-5 down.
Interesting contrast in styles this year to last year's final. Both players love to play from the baseline primarily.
Knowing that fitness is going to be a factor, I can see Chathura trying a lot of drop shots and trying to move Sharmal around.
Yes, I wouldn't say both players are overtly fit. Another issue that will probably come into play is both of them don't have big serves. They're more the type of players who rely on getting the first serve in at a decent pace and then building the point from there with the ground stroke. So in the long run, it's just going to be fitness that plays its part, and it's quite surprising actually that there have been no breaks of serve. Both of them very good returners.
Exactly, yes.
Another drop shot there, just overdoing it a little bit. Of course, the one big difference here in terms of experience, I think Sharmal's played the best of 5 format a lot more than Chathura has.
Ball.
Having said that, if it does go the distance, you'll have to pick Chathura as the favourite.
I think so too, because I think that is basically what Chathura is trying to gear himself for. The longer the match goes, if the early set rallies are long and the games are long, that will hold Chathura in good stead. Actually, I don't think that losing the first set, not that it's not a problem, but losing the first set would mean more to Sharmal than it would mean to Chathura.
Just as we talk about the first set, here's 2 set points for Sharmal. Slightly loose game from Chathura so far, 2 drop shots in the net. Great point from Chathura. Initially
30-40.
defending the Sharmal backhand, getting it back into play and then turning the point around. Probably a couple of opportunities there for Sharmal to come to net.
Yeah, I think Sharmal was kind of hoping that by pinning Chathura to the backhand corner that he will be able to use the open court, but credit to Chathura, he didn't give him a short ball opportunity to exploit that down the line option. Still
badly needing a first serve here.
Out. Game and first set. Dissanayake.
So that was a chance taken by Chathura. The only difference was like in earlier occasions when he went for drop shots, he was able to kind of wrong foot Sharmal as well, but here he had to hit the center, the middle of the court. So
Yes, so I think the drop shot just sort of leading Chatu's downfall in that game. I think going forward he's going to have to use it a little bit more diligently, sort of build the point up a bit more before going for the drop shot. He's got to fancy his chances of staying in the rally a bit longer and then take it from there.
And also, essentially, I think in his service games, he should be making more use of a better first serve rather than having to depend on drop shots to win the point, especially on his serve. Whereas when Sharmal is serving, if he gets good returns and if he's able to keep Sharmal on the back foot, then the drop shot will come in very useful.
Yes, it's an interesting point there, because I wouldn't expect that either player is going to actually try to dominate their service games by going for their first serve. It's never actually been a pattern of play for both of them, because they're super solid from the back of the court, and especially on their cross court. So you're going to see a lot of side to side rallying, like long cross court exchanges, and then whoever's able to draw the shorter ball or the ball up the middle generally is going to end up dominating the point. Of course, Chatu will be mixing it up with drop shots. But yes, it's an interesting match. I think by no means does the first set really indicate what the final result is going to be. I think if we were talking about Sharmal maybe 3-4 years ago, I would be very hesitant to bet against him if he won the first set. But this is a Sharmal on the comeback trail. So, but it's good to see him back playing and competing for the big titles. Made a push at the Nationals as well, reaching the finals and beating a lot of the young guns along the way. Still very much the biggest asset in terms of Sri Lankan men's tennis if he's fit. So
because I think in the post Harshana Godamane era, we definitely can do with Sharmal being there in the equation to provide,
yes,
along with Yashita, to provide the core, the experience core around which the juniors can build the team for the future.
And by no means are they like old in terms of tennis sense. They're still mid to late 20s. Yeah,
yes.
So what we are talking about here is just a case of maybe 1 year of proper fitness.
So I think it's very important that those two remain in the equation, because the juniors are still not mature enough to take the leadership role in the team. So they still need to kind of develop around these two seniors.
Yes, it's also underestimated how much you need a senior group to look up to as juniors.
Right, definitely. Especially in team event situations, it's more so than as an individual.
Love 30.
So getting back to the impact the service has on each other in a matchup like this, I think both players are wary of the opponent's ability to return serve and punish big serves. As a result of that, you see them not going for flat out first serves, but
Yes.
they are kind of doing like a 75% serve, ensuring that they get their first serves in.
And trying to move the opponent around, I guess.
15-30.
Lovely inside in from Sharmal there. The first time in this game getting his footwork on point. The other part, of course, is that neither player has an obvious weakness on the baseline or on the return of serve. So they'd probably have to vary it from side to side instead of targeting one side.
Right.
Both very balanced players from the baseline. Lovely use of depth and angles there from Chatu. Very quick to pounce on the short ball. I don't know, in your memory, has there ever been a best of 5 set final at SSC before?
Yes, there were at least 2 or 3 years where we played best of 5 set matches. Once I can remember, there was this the Myanmar guy Zozo
Zozolat, yes,
The
yes.
The year that he won, it was best of 5 set.
I see.
Yeah, at least twice we have had best of 5 set, and now just before this lot of SSC Opens, which was like about 15-20 years old.
Yes.
So we had the first spell in the mid or late 80s. So at that time we had best of 5 sets because we were that time there was no Davis Cup Division 3. So Davis Cup was always best of 5 set matches. So then we used to have best of 5 sets, semi-finals and finals.
Interesting.
There is a break-up serve by Chathura, early break-up serve in the second set.
Pulling Sharmal out wide with a deep forehand and drawing the error there. Of course, there's a lot of contention on whether best of 5 is the best thing for the players. What's pretty true, however, is that we've seen in the recent past a lot of our players pulling up unfit in various big matches, whether it be on the ITF stage or in team events. There's no doubt that if the players are conditioned to play longer matches, that it's going to serve them well in international matches in the long run. So I think overall a good call, although it's going to take a while for the players to adjust.
So another example that we had recently was in the recent trials for the Junior Davis Cup and Junior Fed Cup. On the first day of trials, I mean, they were just best of 3 set matches. There were 6 injuries on the very first day of trials. 4 of them were cramps and 2 other injuries. So apparently most of the weekend tournaments and most of the tournaments that they have been playing in the months leading up to that, even the 3 set matches had been super tiebreakers in the final set or due to rain and
Short sets,
they had
no
short
advantage.
sets. Exactly.
Big difference.
And then with the tension of playing trials, suddenly you're playing a match of a slightly longer duration, it takes a toll on your physical.
Finally, big serve there. It's almost always such an important thing, the first serve in the men's game, just to set up that easier shot. Fantastic return there from Sharmal, setting up the
that
cross-court
depth on
put
that
away.
return was the thing that set up the winner that he came up with. I think that is basically, that would be Sharmal's game plan, to try and get deep returns, put pressure on him and then go for winners with this second shot.
Brilliant angle again. I think despite top tier conditioning not being there for Sharmal, I think he's still the premier ball striker in the country, and you can see that in some of the rallies.
Very clearly.
Still hits the cleanest ball. What Chathura should be looking to do is to just move him around so that he doesn't get an opportunity to strike the ball cleanly.
30-40.
Lovely serve.
Because if Sharmal gets into like a hitting rhythm, then all he needs to do, I mean, he can pretty much do a stand and deliver kind of thing. So I think it's in Chathura's interest to make sure that he keeps Sharmal moving as much as he can.
Great serve again. I often wonder why he doesn't do that more often. Going for a bigger first serve, especially I think when he's up in games, should be going for a lot more big serves just to tune that in. It's hard to summon first serves regularly when you don't go for them as part of your game plan. Sharmal
2
getting
break opportunities.
I think he got away with that one there. Slightly short first serve. Sharmal not in position there to get a good look at that return. I think the ball being short actually helped Chathura there.
Net first up.
It's good to see him going for it.
Out. Advantage. Nilaweera.
Some good clutch serving here. Forcing errors off the Sharmal return just when he needs it. Going up 2-love would be very handy in this situation.
Exactly, yeah.
Ball. Game. Nilaweera.
Because whatever effort that Sharmal puts in a game or in a set will be based on whether he believes that he can win that game or that set. So if Chathura moves away with a decent lead, Sharmal may in his mind not believe that making a comeback is worth it for him. So
Yes, it'll be interesting to see how he manages that as it progresses. For now, the serve moving Sharmal on the backhand is proving to be very handy. It'll be interesting to see how this goes.
yeah, the high serves to his backhand, even though it's not a lot of pace, the fact that the ball kicks is making Sharmal ineffective from the baseline there. So
15-love.
Interesting part about that is you would normally say that when in prime form, Sharmal's backhand is his real weapon. Still the heaviest shot I think that is played in Sri Lanka. It's got incredible weight. But of course he needs to be in position. And with the double-handed backhand, it's a lot more important to really be set up to hit it as clean as possible. Great serving game from Sharmal so far. Just what he needs at this point to put this service game away early and try to put pressure on Chathu's serve again.
yeah, I think that this winning this service game easily and comfortably is very important for Sharmal. Yeah, that'll give him the motivation to stay in the set and put pressure on Chathu's serve.
Chathu trying a little saber there on the final return. Yes, so like I said, you would generally consider Sharmal's backhand the better shot. Having said that though, I think this entire SSC tournament he's actually hit his forehand quite well, I would say. Put away the short balls. The semi-final win, quite a lot of shots on the run that he was able to make cross-court. So
I think he looked he never looked under too much pressure in any of the earlier matches, but maybe the match against Zaid, although he was never really down, you could feel that he wasn't kind of smooth flowing game, wasn't on that day. He was kind of very scratchy. So sometimes when they have a build up like that, I mean, people tend to think that you have matches where you are not tested and you may not be ready for the finals, but I believe that, you know, for a person like Sharmal to have matches where you're still not playing at your best is the best that he can hope for, so that the finals will not be a over the peak kind of situation for him.
yes, it's an interesting point actually. I think with the recent introduction of the 32 main draw and the qualifying, you're generally guaranteed some level of competitiveness in the draw, so you're not going to flow through too many matches before you get somebody who can actually stay with you on court, of course.
So true.
There goes another forehand again. I think for this match that forehand's going to be key. Like, just as much as he's restricted moving towards the backhand, I have a feeling that he can compensate for it using the forehand. It's a bit of a loose return there. Good serve from Chathu. Needs a few more first serves in this game. Early trouble once again, but he's somehow finding serves when he really needs them. That'll serve him in good stead.
Whilst Chatu is using out and out drops as a tactic, I really don't see him using fading backhand slices kind of things, which probably could be useful weapon also in this situation.
It's actually interesting that you brought that up. So Sharmal was playing Gayanga Veerasekara in the semi-final, and a majority of the points that Gayanga won were built off the backhand slice cross-court, drawing Sharmal forward on the backhand, and of course with his serve. But it's definitely a tactic, and Chatu does have a pretty good slice, so I don't think he's quite figured it out yet.
No, the thing is, I think when you come into a match thinking that you're going to use a drop shot, you probably he doesn't have the experience or the maturity yet to realize the effect that a backhand slice could have, which would be the same impact as a drop shot on the ball, you know.
Of course, I think the way Sharmal is striking his forehand at the moment, if he's actually going for the drop shot, for the slice, needs to be in such a way that he is targeting the backhand. Any shot on which Sharmal can get inside the ball and strike his forehand, I think would be dangerous for Chathura. Big serve. Sharmal on a bit of a roll here.
Yes, following on from that good service game, he was able to, without too much trouble, he was able to break Chatu's serve, and now another good solid service game will give him the confidence to.
I think it's pretty interesting that the first two games that Chatu won in this set, he wasn't necessarily going for the drop shot, but in the last one,
true, exactly. You're right.
He just threw that game away. Sharmal also finding some rhythm on the serve. Great get from Chatu. This time the drop shot does pay dividends.
15 all.
So this morning in the women's singles final, it was interesting to see how Sajida was. She was getting a lot of points from short angle forehands, but she was waiting for the right moment to hit the short angles by hitting slices to the backhand and opening up the court. So it was a very good tactical game she played, you know. So I think if Chathura was watching that match, he would get some idea of how to use a weapon that you are using. You have to set it up before you use it.
Again, Sharma's fantastic ground strokes coming to the fore there. Set up with the down the line backhand, which I think when he's really on, that is his premier shot. The down the line backhand. It's a shot that not a lot of players have in their arsenal. Chatu responding with brilliant counter-attack of his own. Both players quite dangerous when they get inside to strike their forehands, so you should really be actively looking for that. I think the cooler conditions actually going to help both of them.
Exactly. I think both of them must be very happy with the overcast conditions. That is a very important first serve for him at 30 all, 2 all.
Yes, Sharmal definitely grooving on his serve here early in the second set. I think having gone down 2-love, he sort of started playing a little more freely. And not trying to complicate his tactics too much, just going for his serves and his shots. That's a big hold. Pressure back on Chatu to hold. He's not played a great... he didn't play a great service game and he's been broken 2 out of the last 3 times he served. But I think again it just comes down to what you were talking about, Aruna. I think it's so underrated how tactics need to be used in order to win tennis matches, and the fact that Sajida was able to demonstrate that in the women's final sort of shows you that I think on every level that's what it should be. But then again, there are certain basic rules I think you can't ignore when you're playing tennis. For example, for me in men's tennis, I think a big first serve or a well-placed first serve is always going to make your life easier.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean that's a you can't even call that a weapon. I think that's a basic fundamental thing that
It's
you
a
have to have in
requirement
your men's
almost.
game.
Yes,
yeah.
correct.
But here, what I see is it's more than using the weapon.
Time.
It's the fear of being unable to use the weapon, where you're frightened of your second serve being exploited.
Yes.
That's holding them back from really using the weapon as a weapon. So it's kind of a bit of a cat and mouse thing in that sense. But as the front runner now with the lead, Sharmal may be in a position to kind of bring out his first serve, especially if he gets a break.
Love 15.
Again, overusing the drop shot. I'm a little surprised that Chathura is going down this route because he's a very good player from the back of the court. Got
The thing
more
is,
than
I
enough
mean,
weapons.
Using this as a tactic is one thing, but the thing is, like when you're completely obsessed with it, where you're compromising your general game that is good enough to hold your own. I
Yes.
think that's a bit of a mistake he's making.
15
Drop
all.
shot should always be the icing on the cake, not really the.
And to keep your opponent off balance, you can always keep using that so that you
Yes.
will have more options in whatever you use as your general tactic.
Fifty 30.
Tense moments here. I think Chathura will be looking for the serve out wide again to pull Sharmal, bring him out of balance, and then try to hit the forehand into the open court. Lovely
30
volley,
all.
beautiful volley. For me, Chathura has some of the best volleys in the men's game, and using it beautifully.
Out.
Again, nice play.
40 30. Game
Well
Nilaweera.
played.
3 games
Chathura
all.
showing a little bit more to his game there, using his first serve, few volleys coming in, finally a backhand slice shot. Fairly clear that the serve out wide to the backhand on the at court is going to be a crucial element of this match. He seems to be winning a lot of points using that play.
Love 15.
Level of play definitely increasing over the last 2-3 games. Players going a little heavier.
I think Chathura relying on going back to his ground strokes has made the
Which I think he should
compression-
throughout
yes.
the whole
Good.
match. It's again
Out.
brilliant use of the forehand.
Love
Both players
30.
very dangerous when they're able to move around their backhand to strike the forehand. Chathura now in prime position to manufacture a break here. Sharma's got to come up with some.
Fault.
Lovely shot.
Now, like you kept saying, I mean, that is probably the shot that kind of sets him apart from most of the other players here. The
Definitely.
backhand down the line or up the line he hits.
It's also generally an indication of how well he's moving. Generally, a prime Sharmal, you'd see a lot more backhand down the lines in play. I think he's being a lot more reserved because he's unable to get behind the ball as much.
Ball.
Huge point here.
Thirty all.
Once again, backhand down the line.
Mali bowling.
May not have hit it as well as he wanted to, but he stretched and put pressure enough on Chathura to get the error from him.
Definitely likes the ball coming cross court to him then down the line. Like, he tends to be really good at controlling cross court rallies, but the moment the ball's down the line, it tends to be vulnerable sometimes. That's a big point right there. Chathura really with an opportunity to go up with a break. Could probably say that Sharmal won the last 2 points, but this one, bad misreturn.
Ball.
Be looking to run around the forehand if he can, run around the backhand if he can.
Out.
Does exactly that,
Game.
but
Dissanayake.
If he had access to statistics
Dissanayake lead
of
4 games to
rally
3.
lengths, I would say that all the rallies that were less than 6 shots, or most of them were won by Sharmal, although his game is also based on baseline. So if Chathura realizes that the longer the rallies go, the more chance he has of not only winning the point, but having a bigger impact on Sharmal as the game goes on. So
yes, true. I think what's going to become critical is for him to use change of rhythm options. I feel like if he can go a little bit higher, move the ball around a little bit more. Sharmal on his toes. I think one of the so he's tried to move Sharmal back and forth with the drop shot, but I think you can do it in a much more subtle way by using the slice.
slice, exactly. And I think by using the slice, you're not risking that particular point. I mean, you're just kind of trying to change the control in the rally towards your side. Question of controlling the rally and winning the point, whereas a drop is like a throw of the dice basically.
He's just looking at that highlight there. Lovely drop volley. Okay, so Chathura will need some first serves. Of course, we can look out to see whether he'll continue the pattern of serving out wide backhand on the ad court. Probably not as
Last
I
15.
was just gonna say serving
That
out
is
wide.
very, I would say that is very casual because he retrieved, he went back for the lob, but he didn't really think about getting.
Just going to say that serving out wide to the forehand was not going to be as effective as serving out wide to the backhand on the ad court. But it actually did work for the first part of that first point. Just that Chathura didn't put away the smash. That's
Excellent depth in his ground strokes. I mean, that was really.
from Sharmal. That's the thing, when he's in position, he still is such a good ball striker.
Exactly, I think that is key for him, you know, I mean, to be in a position to be able to hit the shots.
Lovely play from Chathura there. Again, set up with a good serve. I also do think after, instead of using a drop shot, if come in, he's got a really good touch-based net game. It's some of the best drop volleys I think I've seen in the country, so he definitely should be exploit part of his game a little bit more. thinks it's out.
As well.
It did at first. Catching Sharmal off balance um, in both points. First on the forehand, then on the backhand.
Hold. Love 15.
Good start to the game for Chathura here. Crucial game.
Out.
And just here,
15
Chathura
off.
sort of berating himself with making play, which is exactly what he should have gone for. Made Sharma make that.
Just
Made him
stepping,
stretch.
stepping up, coming into the net. I mean, it's not just about hitting a volley as well, but just putting pressure on the opponent by your presence up at net.
Fold. Out. 15-30.
You really have to wonder how not breaking in that last game is going to affect the tide of this match. Sharma looking visibly out of balance here. Wow, that's
30
brilliant.
on.
Two fantastic down the line to set that point up.
So once again, I think what was very clear was, like you said, I mean, he should have the balance and the time to hit the shot. Then the effect of that is like almost guaranteeing him a point all the time here. It's almost, you could feel that Chathura is fearing that, you know.
Lovely return.
30,
Lovely return.
40.
Broke a string, but
Absolutely
did the job.
ripped it. Yeah, really beautifully. This is a big point in the context of the match. A break here would mean Chathura serving for the set.
True.
And really you'd have to wonder at once at all what this match is going to look like.
Game. Nilaweera.
It's a big point there.
Nilaweera lead 5 games
Chathura
to 4.
breaking, going up now in the second set. A good serving game here would mean we're tied at a set all. 2 more sets to play for sure. And at that point, I think you'd have to peg Chathura as a slight favorite if he does take this set.
yes.
Both
But in the
men.
past, I have seen in crucial matches, Chathura being not too good at closing out after breaking opponent's serve, especially in power matches. fairly important stages of various tournaments. He's
I think-
done the hard work,
yes.
got the break, and then kind of lets up a little bit. But I think over the years,
Interesting
he
to
would
see,
have-
yes, like he's, I mean, of course, still a very young player in his teens, so hopefully he's sort of matured and understood how to close these matches. I think the notable match for me was the Nationals final when he was up 4-2 in the third set and couldn't quite
Time.
close it out. Had a case of cramping as well. But yes, definitely has all the ingredients. It's now just going to be a case of, okay, can he hold his nerve, get his serve into the right spots, make sure that Sharma's out of balance, and not overdo the drop shot. That's
15 up.
argument there from Sharmal about the ball mark.
See if the replay gives.
Replay, I think Sharmal was
Sharmal
right
was
there.
right.
He
I
was
think
right
Sharmal
there.
was right.
Full.
That's a bit unlucky. It was almost like he was just motivated by that bad call there in that last
Looks
point.
that way to me too. I mean, there was more intensity and more ferociousness in the 3 ground strokes that he hit leading up to the winner.
But it's an absolute, I think a call like that, such a big game, is so important.
30-15.
This time, no doubt about that serve. Brilliant serving. Chathura just getting his serve in. Serve firing up at the right time here. In time to close this set. 2 points away from the set now. Once again, 2 big forehands.
Still, I would say that was an unforced error from Chathura. He could have still stayed in the rail. He wasn't under too much pressure with that shot from Sharmal. Still, 30 all. It's very important that he gets a good first serve in here.
He's won the first 2 points with first serves. And
He
he does.
does. He does.
40-30.
Get him to set point here.
Great rhythm on the deuce court. Will be interesting to see if he just tries to move the ball out wide or goes for a big serve here. Huge celebration.
I was
there
inclined
from
to agree
Chathura.
with Meshal on the choice of serve, but he surprised us all by serving down the middle into his forehand and took Sharmal by surprise as well. And now it's 1 set all to play for.
That's essentially, yeah.
We have with us the reigning SSC champ Tehan Vijayamanna, and so he's not playing this year. So we will like to find out what's kept him away from the tournament this year.
Hi. Thank you, Uncle Aruna. I actually decided not to play the singles this year because I was doing my London A-level exams. Just finished those few papers and getting back into tough practice sessions because I'm playing the doubles and the mixed doubles this tournament. That's the reason I'm not playing. But watching this match, I'm really sad that I didn't play. I would have loved to been in a situation like this, even though it looks like the players hate it on court. I'm sure they're both loving it right now, and these matches are the matches that they'll never forget. So yeah, looking forward to playing the next 2 tournaments, and also looking forward for the doubles and the mixed doubles.
You want to ask something?
So Tehan, Any memories from last year's final?
Well, the main thing I remember is, when I got on the court, I realized I was really not connecting well. My shots weren't connecting well, and I was really nervous. I didn't think that the fact that I was being videoed would affect me, but after I started playing, I was like, oh my god, everybody's watching me and I'm not playing really well. But that fear is what I remember. But luckily it ended up okay for me. It was a good match. I had a good second set. So yeah, that's what I remember. But I was also Chathura is my doubles partner, and also Sharmal has a lot of experience. But I keep thinking what they're thinking right now, and watching the first set, I feel like they both did really well. Especially Chathura with having much less experience than Sharmal.
What are your goals for this year, the rest of the year? What are you looking to achieve?
Well, the national title would be a huge goal for me. Also to defend or win the doubles nationals again. Also, I would like to improve my ITF and also hopefully get some ATP points. That would again is huge for me. And I'm also looking at going to the US and playing college tennis. So a lot of big steps I need to take. So hoping to start training hard, like I said, and get there.
Yeah, hopefully it goes well. Yeah, all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Tehan. Nice talking to you.
The first few games of this third set going to be particularly critical for Sharmal. You could see him just taking a bit of a risk in that first point and coming into net, which he hasn't really done for the whole match. Slight dispute on the line call. Once again, would be interesting to see where that ball actually landed. Umpire claiming that there was no mark there.
Generally, when the ball is smack on the line, there isn't a mark really to show, but
Net, second serve.
Just have a feeling that Sharma's just going to open his shoulders a lot more in this set. Really try to go for it. I think what Chathura is going to have to do is to try once again to see if he can weather the storm and get him on the move, so he's out of balance to hit his shots.
so the pattern that I have seen with Sharmal, mostly in the second set, was that he had been playing in fits and starts. I mean, like, he had 2 good games and then he was kind of aimless for the next 3 games, and then again the intensity picked up, and then when he was more focused on staying in rallies, trying hard to kind of win points there, then he was always successful. But then again he tends to go back into that
Quite a lot of it probably has to do with actual match fitness. One of the core issues that we have on the Sri Lankan tour is the lack of tournaments after you turn 18. Good case in point for Sharmal is that he's played his last match back in September during the Nationals finals,
right,
and hasn't actually played a competitive match since then. So it is quite hard to build up to that, which is why we often see a lot of times like people dropping out after 18, even as young as 16.
I think that is like a huge problem that Sri Lankan tennis has been having.
I mean, there have been some steps to try and rectify the situation this year, but again, like I think it depends a lot more on this year, at least, on conditions in the country as well. Like there's the whole question of, I think we weathered that storm. There was a point at which like there was a big lack of balls and equipment in the country.
Right.
Forget about playing tournaments, right?
Logistic issues rather than player motivation issues. But I think the biggest vacuum that we had of not having too many over 18 players has somewhat been addressed
15
by the
up.
fact that the likes of you and Gayanga and even people, the other coaches like Dumidulum and people like Ruan and them being there, and even people like Vibuddha continuing, has been setting a kind of a trend which hopefully would be a motivation for the others also to hang in there and continue with the game.
I do think, yes, I think it's sort of a temporary solution that you have some of the older players competing, but then again the question really comes up to as to what Sri Lanka tennis can do over the next 2-3 years so that players coming in from the junior ranks will actually stay in the game. I think that's the more important thing here. Like you want, as far as you've seen the success, for example, of a Chatu or a Tehan, you want, like, I think 10x that amount of players coming in from the junior ranks and really staying in. For every Chatu and Tehan, there's a lot of lost junior players from their age groups as well. And that's potentially something I think Sri Lanka tennis should do to avoid. So I think it's up to the governing body.
I think looking at it from the players' point of view, I think there are different motivations that the players themselves have when they're playing as juniors. I mean, some of them, their main aim is to get a scholarship and maybe move to the US to do that. So how much of tennis they will continue to play post-university degree time is left to be seen. So it's not something that you can really depend on the players continuing, because they may have changed priorities once they go to the US. But like you said, it's the other players, the ones who are not the Tehans and the Chatus, the number 5, 6 players, the ones who may not go to the US, whether they will continue playing. That's a very important thing. I mean, this last year we saw Ashen and people like that coming in. For them to have made the Davis Cup team would be a motivation for others also to stay in the game for a little longer.
Also, I think more pertinently winning the nationals, Ashen.
Right.
So
Yeah, that was huge too.
I think it was a huge win, and sort of goes to show you that if you stay in the game, a lot of things can be done.
Right.
But there's no question that the tour needs to be a lot more structured. You need a lot more tournaments being played, more money in the game. These are sort of practical issues that need to be solved going forward. I think even for a player like Sharmal, like a tour that has a lot of continuity and structure to it.
And also I think there are little steps that the association has to take, which I see happening, like for instance the 32 main draw thing. I think those are things that make a lot of practical sense. I mean, although you would think it's just a case of having a more compact tournament, but I think it's a little bit more than that, where the players like Sharmal and all that, I mean, for them, they know that they have to play these 5 rounds only, which is something where they could put a little bit more planning into time management and all that more easily, rather than playing unwieldy big draw with
and yes, I think what it also helps is with the lower ranks of the game, because you get a lot of players who, let's say, you don't want to be drawing Sharmal in the first round.
Right.
When you enter a tournament, you'd rather have a good match or two to play, which I mean they'll get for qualifying, and I mean the qualifying has points as well this year. So I think it benefits everybody to have this system, and if you really want to be in that top bracket, you've got to put in the work. Lovely inside out forehand again from Chatu.
Round 15.
So this is really going to be the question. Like, I think you saw Sharmal in the first 1.5 games sort of expending a little bit of energy to increase his pace, but then how much does it take out of him for the next few points?
Right. So I think he ideally would be hoping that he will have little opportunities every other game, kind of, rather than having to put the same intensity every game. That's what he would prefer mostly, but I think it's up to Chatu to make sure that he's kept on edge right throughout. But still, on the whole, I don't think, although Chatu has been reasonably successful here, he has not been pushing Sharmal enough to keep him moving from side to side and keeping him on court for long rallies. But then again, I suppose he's managing himself as well, Chaturya, so...
Out.
Yes, but it again, I think it comes down to how much continuity there is really for both these players. Like, as much as we'd like to say, okay, Sharmal's last match was so many months ago, I think actually the same applies to Chatu. like he's not been playing many matches as well, so I wouldn't expect them to be that match sharp. Currently, battle of the inside out forehands going on. Sharmal winning that one there.
Out. Game Dissanayake. Dissanayake lead 2-1.
Much pace on that ball to actually try to pull it down the line. So Sharmal survives that game after having gone down early in it. Still hanging on to the lead. He's desperately going to be looking for a break somewhere here. I think the longer the match goes, definitely favors Chathura. Unless, of course, Sharmal plays the whole game of, I'm going to hold myself, take it to a tie break and then see what happens. But I'm not sure that's like a risk he's going to be willing to take.
I think one advantage Sharmal has, because he's serving first, is that after the break he faces Chathur's serve, so he will be able to put a little bit extra effort in that game and try and see what he can make out of it with the lead. So
the question though is like, do you think he wants to put that effort now, or maybe say at 5-4, where there's
ideally he would try to, but then the thing is like he needs to be holding his serve up to that point as well.
Correct.
So yeah, I think you're right. I don't think he will put that extra effort knowingly at 2-1.
Yes.
He would much rather do it when the break would be more meaningful.
Good start to the game. Big serve from Chathur. Sharma, slight adjustment in his return position there. He's gone back a bit. And there you go.
Once again, that quick return from Sharmal. It wasn't the depth or how hard he hit, but the fact that he hit it in front and was able to put the ball back to Chathur before he was out of his service motion.
It's such a fine line, Aruna. Like we've been speaking about how the serve out wide to the backhand to Sharmal actually works, but you see there the angle not as much, more pace for Sharmal to work with. And there you see it, slightly slower serve where he has to actually use his feet and he struggles with it. The first two serves, I mean, okay, if they were going past Sharmal, fair enough, big serve, but there the first two serves just gave him the exact rhythm that he wanted on
and
the
also
return.
the pace on the ball,
Exactly,
which Sharmal
yes.
was able to use very well.
Ball.
I think the most effective serve that Chathur have been having was the kick serve to the backhand on that court.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once again, short return drawn from that kick serve.
All.
Two of the best double-handed backhands in operation. Definitely not striking at their best, but Chathur winning that exchange there. Lovely touch at net.
40-30.
Once again, fantastic net skill.
Chathur covered the angle very well down the line and was able to hit it. For a moment I thought that Sharmal was going to drop his racket and go cross court.
Ball.
Arguably one of the better players of the angle volley. I can think of just Sankatugorle being a better volleyer in this country.
pressure of his ground strokes finally telling. I mean, that is a rally that was dominated by him, and he was able to end up winning that point as well.
Had to go back cross court there. Just too much pace across him to pull the trigger down the line. But of course risking going back to the Sharmal forehand, which has been firing in this game.
Once again, I think the key, like you said earlier, was for him to be in position.
Yes.
But he has the balance to hit that, and then almost always he'll win those points.
Huge point here. Sharmal hasn't really been exploiting Chathur's second serve.
Out.
That's a bad miss.
Advantage.
So, yeah, just again to reiterate on that point, normally you'd expect players to jump on a second serve. It hasn't actually been the case. Could explain why they were holding serve so much in the first set as well. Just slower serves, relying on placement. Neither players returned that effectively when the serve has been slower. Definitely use pace a lot more effectively. That's a huge break.
Dissanayake lead 3
Huge
games
break
to
while
1.
Chathur was up there.
Chathur from love 30 down, I thought he did pretty well to get back to game point, and then virtually threw the game away from there. Sharmal would be mighty pleased with the break that he had got so
2
fortuitously.
wickets at deuce there.
Yeah.
So now, real question on whether Sharma can consolidate here. Get some good serving going. Starts beautifully. Once again,
15 love.
huge forehands.
I'm very impressed with the fact that Sharmal, whenever he's, even when he was very badly needing a point, even at 30-40s and all that, he has been very composed. He had not been rushing. He had not been snatching at the at pulling the trigger. He's been kind of smoothly hitting those shots, which hasn't been the case with Chathur. There have been instances where he has kind of shanked his drives.
Lovely defense, but just too good from Sharma. Yes, it's quite interesting. I think the really good players sometimes tend to fall back on instinctive habit, and Sharma has always been known as the kind of player who can trade for very long amounts of time. A lot of big ground strokes. Of course, the big difference now to his prime is his fitness levels, but I think in spite of that, he's just going by what he does best, and that's working so far.
Net. First serve.
I'm sure he wishes like his serve was still in tune as well, because that would have made life a lot easier for him.
Ball.
He's definitely serving bigger though. Very casual volley there from Chathur. I thought he had the point wrapped up. Little glance from Sharmal back at Chathur, wondering what that was about. So 3 game points for a 4-1 lead. It's just one break, but in the context of the match it could be pretty big.
Fault.
And also I'm sure he's going to enjoy the 90-second break very much with a 4-1 lead.
Game Dissanayake. Dissanayake lead 4 games to 1.
Slight lack of positioning there on the last return.
So I think the last 2 points that Chathur lost was kind of a betrayal of the confidence dropping within him, you know. So that service break that ended with a double fault, the effect of that was felt throughout the next service game. You know, I mean, all those other unforced errors were, I would say, still kind of, you know, had its roots in that double fault and the disappointment he had.
Still a case for him to, despite going down, I still feel like it's just one break in it, so he can always come back. But he needs to get a good service game here.
Time.
Be interesting to see how Sharmal goes in this game, whether he's actually going to go and try to get 2 breaks and really shut this set out, or conserve energy to make sure he holds serve.
So I think he will still try to get that insurance break as well, because that'll be good for his service game, because he will be serving second game after the break. So he will take his chances. May not necessarily want to be involved in too many long rallies, but he will definitely take his chances.
Definitely hitting a lot more freely in this set as compared to the first.
For sure.
Out. Love 15.
Chathura losing the plot slightly here, like a few down the lines that he shouldn't have attempted. Not really respecting the weight of shot from Sharmal. That ball should have been cross-court all the way.
Exactly.
What a return.
Excellent.
I'd have to wonder how much of it is really mental with Sharmal. Just seems to be playing very freely at the moment.
See, I think more than what motivates Sharmal now, it is Sharmal's body language that is going to be a real test for Chathura. So when he sees Sharmal hitting freely, moving freely, that kind of error from Chathura is a direct result of that. I mean, it's just seeing the person and not responding to the shot.
It's a bad miss. Should have put that away. Could have even gone behind him.
Out.
It's 2 forehand errors in a row.
15-40.
Double break up for grabs there. Just have to see if that would revive Chathura in this game. Properly let out of jail in that point. It was just there for the taking. Lovely serve.
30-40.
Brilliant serving. Hope for one more of those. Still break point to Sharmal.
Court.
Excellent
Fantastic
backhands.
play.
I mean, the one that set him up probably was the key there, but he's really showing his strength and bringing it on at the right time.
Yes. Definitely opened up on his repertoire of strokes in this set.
Like you repeatedly kept saying, I mean, that is the shot that kind of sets him apart from the other players here.
I think it's a yardstick for how good he's feeling on the court. When he repeatedly starts getting that shot going, he's very balanced and coordinated. It'll be just quite interesting to see when he keep this going.
So the thing is, when he starts playing like that, that is when the uncertainty in the mind of the opponent also gets heightened. I mean, now the opponent is starting to worry about that.
Nice use of the drop shot there.
Love 15.
Very bad. Very bad.
So the important thing for Chathura here is to keep putting pressure on Sharmal and not give him the leeway, because for a person like Sharmal, once you give him that breathing space, he could become a different player, and it will not be easy to counter front-running Sharmal. He needs to kind of keep him in check all the time, even if he's going to win the set. Instead of a 6-1 to make it a 6-2 or 6-3, would take that much away from Sharmal.
Interesting that he hasn't actually looked to lengthen the points here, Chatu. Like, just keep a lot of balls in play and force Sharmal to come up with shot after shot. That's a lovely shot there. Little too short with the drop shot there, with the approach shot. Chatu making full use of it.
And also Sharma's approach to the net that time was more hoping that Chatu would miss rather than kind of covering the angle. You know?
Yes. So it's actually the type of point that Chatu should be looking for, but he needs to make that. He needs to make that shot back in. Whenever Sharmal pulls the trigger, if he can get one more ball back in, that's going to start putting some doubts in Sharmal's mind. But he just hasn't been successful doing that so far. And
so that is why I've been saying that his game has been fits and starts. I mean, there was no consistent. There's no method to the approach that he was taking. I mean, his basic approach should be to play long rallies and put pressure on Sharmal.
Lovely play again.
30-40.
Two excellent points featuring the drop shot, which hasn't really been part of his game for the rest of the set.
True.
I think to his credit, he's used it well here. But again, yes, big point here, just to pull one of the breaks back, keep Sharmal in check for a bit.
Yes.
Chatu would hardly afford to make errors like that, because I think he needs to realize that, you know, pulling the trigger comes a bit later in the rally, and he should be hitting
maybe three feet behind the baseline. You don't
and at least
flatten
1.5
line,
2 feet above the net.
Yes,
when he's returning that kind of shot.
would have been the shot to go for if he was inside the court, but not from there.
Advantage. Dissanayake.
Serve catching the outside of the line to set that point up. Once again, that backhand down the line in full flow.
Ball.
That's one way to save a set point.
I know. Chatu needs to, apart from having that kind of options, he should be also kind of putting more pressure in the rallies when he's in the rallies with Sharmal.
That's a wasteful error. Again, a case of not
Dissanayake.
another shot that needed to go cross court. He's just tried to pull the trigger down the line.
I think Sharmal will be very happy with the fact that Chatu feels desperate enough at various stages to take risks. He's quite happy to play the game that he plays and wait for the opportunity for him to hit the backhands.
Out.
Lovely depth.
Out. Advantage. Nilaweera.
Break point again. Another big forehand.
Good by Chatu, and He's been able to get one break back, and now Sharmal must be very happy about the fact that he had 2 break points at his disposal. So the pressure has to be maintained by Chathura, of course, but I think more importantly what he needs to do is he has to settle down into a kind of game that he believes will hurt Sharmal rather than kind of, try different options 2 or 3 times within the game. That suits Sharmal fine, because Sharmal would know that when Chathura attempts to change the way he plays, he's going to get a free point here and there. And on top of that, when he gets into position,
I think what's pretty clear for both players is the use of the ball that they get inside on the forehand. So both of them pretty unpredictable as to where they would end up going. But I think that's what set up at least 2 or 3 points for Chathura in that last game, like where he was actually stepping inside, going around the backhand and smacking the forehand. So while he wants to extend points, I think that shot itself is just going to make Sharma stretch that bit more, throw him off balance with the rest of the point.
True, that's true too, yes. Because the thing is, once Sharmal gets into a rhythm, probably, although one would generally think that Chathura would be favoured to win long rallies, it could very well be counterproductive as well if Sharmal is in that hitting zone. So even early on, if he feels that he has got the chances, he needs to go for it. So it's like a fine balance. I think it has a lot to do with the confidence you have in order for you to execute it.
Ooh, lovely touch from Sharma there. Almost half given up on the point at that stage, but got the ball well within his reach. Even a lob over the backhand side would have worked there.
And the forehand side was like 3/4 of the court was available.
Perhaps looking over the net just a bit too soon without focusing on the ball. Chathura playing pretty solid plan there just to yank Sharmal outside the court. Sharmal was making a lot more of those in the semi-final, but right now we're deep in the third set, so definitely tiredness would play a much larger role here in not being able to make those shots.
After doing all the hitting in that particular point, Sharmal ends up winning the point, which is like a very fortuitous thing, I would say. Almost a casual drop volley.
It's actually one of the few times that he's thrown himself around to defend. And that's actually helped him in the point. Chathura serving much better though in this part of the set, so be hoping for a little bit more of that. Still under pressure here, 2 points away from the set, Sharma. It's a very close call there. Chathura accepting the call.
So 2 set points to Sharma on Chathura's serve.
Set points again. It's a bit wasteful, to be honest. Just too many shots being missed down the line.
30-14.
Good serving. Need one more here. Slower, wider serve.
Always the serve that had less pace has drawn errors from Sharma.
Sharma trying to pull the trigger and finish the set there, but unfortunately very missing the backhand. Yes, the other part about the wide serve is that the ball goes across into the center, and that really gives an opportunity for Chathura to run around his backhand and sort of be very unpredictable on where he wants to go with that forehand. So it sets up the point in more ways than one. Sharmal hasn't really taken a step forward to counter that on his return. He's maintained the same return position. So that's wasteful.
Very critical double fault.
Advantage Dissanayake.
The other problem with being broken here for Chathura is that Sharmal will start serving the second set.
Right, I think that is huge
the
for
fourth
Sharmal
set,
as well.
yes.
He would really love having that situation if he breaks now.
Fault.
Whereas if Sharmal had held the last game, one consolation would be that Chathura would start serving the fourth set.
Use.
Again, lower pace serve with kick.
Yes, that has always been something that Sharmal has had difficulties returning.
Actually surprised he's not tried to run round that and really hit a big forehand. He's persisted with the backhand. Of course, I think Sharmal in form relies on his backhand so much, so he's just sticking to what he knows best. That time, ripper cross court from Sharmal,
Dissanayake.
but he was fed the right ball to really do that.
Net for serve.
So now he's with his 6th set point, 4th in this game.
Fault.
Let's see what he does with the second serve here. Kick out wide should be incoming.
Use.
You read the first part of it well, Mashan. He ran round his backhand and hit a forehand that time, but still wasn't in a good hitting rhythm at all. So
Just I think tried to pull the angle a bit too early there. Should have just gone deep.
Advantage.
very poor drop shot
Dissanayake.
by Chathura. But wasn't the wrong time to try it, but I don't think he was in the right place to execute that.
Fault.
Another second serve on his 7th set point.
It's actually quite interesting. So the last 2 points, Sharmal's almost like
Yes.
taking a step back as if to say, I'm going to run round and try to hit this. But he's ended up hitting a backhand as opposed to really opening out on the forehand.
Right.
So what happens then is the ball does end up being short. So
Ball ends up being short and the whole forehand court open for Chathura to
either way, that just goes to show you how much that wide kick serve is gold dust at this
Right.
point for Chathura, because
Right.
Sharmal just doesn't seem to have the legs and the options to counter it at this point.
Advantage Nilaweera.
Looks like Sharmal seems to be getting a little bit frustrated about the missed opportunities.
7 set points now, gone begging. Oh, shot there. Well, a pretty good slice from Chathura. Covered the angles as well, but
Use.
once again Sharmal in balance for that forehand. And when he's in balance, he just strikes a different
Does
ball.
execute it extremely well.
Once again looking for a serve to the backhand. See if he can start the point with the kind of serve. I think Sharmal's just caught in no man's land for this return here. He's got to either step back and give himself a chance or step forward more. Every one of his backhand returns are landing short. That time he ground the point out. A little more weight on that
Advantage
forehand.
Dissanayake.
I really think altering his return position is something that Sharmal should think about here. Because where he's standing right now, it's not really giving him a chance. It's probably take a couple of steps forward if he can.
Out.
That time a good first serve. Couple of steps forward on the second serve, that is. See whether Chathura can come up with a big serve again.
Fault.
Again,
Advantage.
slower second serve, but Chatu on the front foot. Starting the point there is just a case of one step forward on the return. Could make all the difference.
Fault.
Going for the correct serve again.
Game. Nilaweera.
So Chatu persistent.
Dissanayake lead
And,
5 games to 3.
I think Sharmal was a little bit indecisive on the ad court. All those set points that he had.
I think actually if you look at the last return, probably the right way to go. Take a step forward and try to go. But of course he's just not hit that ball enough to make it on demand at this point.
Fault.
Huge service game here.
Fault.
Not a good way to start the game.
And I'm
Definitely
sure the
out.
8 missed set points must be working on Sharma's inside his head as well.
Now 15.
Much as you'd say the cooler conditions helping both players stay a little bit more physical in this game, I think it's also lovely shot. Again, 2 steps well in balance and really smacking that ball down the line. So we're saying it's probably just hurting Sharma's weight of shot a little bit. I think in hotter conditions the ball would have taken off a lot more. So
Possibly that's possibly a factor to be concerned about. But I think on the whole Sharma would be preferring the conditions being milder
that's true.
and the effect it has
Lovely
on
shot
his
again. Taking control with his forehand.
30-15.
That's essentially the pattern he should be looking for. Get a ball short on the forehand and try to smack it. I mean, it's years and years of playing a big backhand within his instincts, but it's just not working today. Lovely
Another
shot
excellent
again.
backhand.
Really makes you wonder
40-15.
what it's going to take for Sharmal to just redline this way in and out, but he's just responded to being under severe pressure by coming up with 3 huge shots. See if he'll find a big serve here.
I think he basically answered the question that I had in my mind, whether the set points affected him. Even if it did affect him, what he did was resort to the game that he's most comfortable with and got out that A game.
Brilliant play from Sharmal Dissanayake. He just closes out the 3rd set.
Game at the 3rd set.
I mean,
Dissanayake 6 games to 3.
so many set points, but was very decisive when he
Very
needed it the
decisive
most.
in that final service game of his.
It's interesting scenario here. We're going into a 4th set.
Do you think that we will see a change of game plan from Chatu, or
My estimation, I think his job is to just keep this match going as long as possible. Of course, the one key difference I think in the open finals categories, you have regular ball changes. This match would have been very different if it been played like say in an earlier round where the ball change was only in the 3rd set. Having said that, I feel like Chathura needs to identify the game plan that's been working for him, which is basically to look for an inside-out forehand and then yank Sharmal around, and on his serve to just make Sharmal go out of position on his backhand. Now whether Sharmal will respond to that in the next set, alter his return position, which he tried on the last point of Chathura's game, I don't know how that will influence things, but it does seem to me that the key shot for Sharmal here is his forehand. And even though I think in principle he's just so used to relying on his backhand, right? He's so used to relying on his backhand, but that's not necessarily working today. So Chathura's out, I think, for a change of clothes.
And I think also Chatu needs to do whatever that he's doing. The pressure that he's putting has to be a little bit more consistent, because it's always punctuated by either errors of judgment or points given away, which is going against the pressure that he's putting on Sharmal. Whereas all Sharmal is doing is waiting till he gets into a position where he can execute what he does. So he doesn't kind of change the tempo of the game really, Sharmal. That has been done by Chatu.
Okay, we're going for a short commercial break. We'll join you back again in the fourth set.
ලොකු වැඩක්ද?
නෑ කමක් නෑ කියන්න.
බිග් මැච් එක කවද්ද?
රසක් මේ අපේ තැනක් හැම හදවතකම රැඳෙන නමක් වසර 120ක් පුරා ශ්‍රී ලාංකේය රස හඳුනන අපිට ලංවුණු අපේ කමේ සංකේතය PNS.
Did you submit the report?
Not yet.
When is the big match?
මීටින් එක ඉවරද?
ඔව් අනේ.
බිග් මැච් එක කවද්ද?
අපේ රසක් මේ අපේ තැනක් හැම හදවතකම රැඳෙන නමක් වසර 120ක් පුරා ශ්‍රී ලාංකේය රස හඳුනන අපිට ලංවුණු අපේ කමේ සංකේතය PNS.
ලොකු වැඩක්ද?
නෑ කමක් නෑ කියන්න.
බිග් මැච් එක කවද්ද? අපේ රසක් මේ අපේ තැනක් හැම හදවතකම රැඳෙන නමක් වසර 120ක් පුරා ශ්‍රී ලාංකේය රස හඳුනන අපිට ලංවුණු අපේ කමේ සංකේතය PNS.
Did you submit the report?
Not yet.
When is the big match?
මීටින් එක ඉවරද?
ඔව් අනේ.
බිග් මැච් එක කවද්ද?
අපේ රසක් මේ අපේ තැනක් හැම හදවතකම
Back live. One consolation for Chathura is that he's going to be starting this set. Just try to make sure he holds and keeps the pressure on.
Out. Love 15.
About a 10-minute break there. Chathura taking a change of clothes and then there's some watering of the court going on. I think that's definitely going to help Sharmal starting the second
Right.
a bit fresher.
Right.
15 all.
Big serve out wide. Once again, backhand down the line firing. Sharmal going for the jugular here, trying to secure an early break. I think he's reasonably confident that he can hold his serve if he does that. Also giving the type of mental boost that he needs to really go out and close this match. Big point here, 15-30. There it is again, the off forehand setting up the error. It's a fantastic start from Sharmal, striking the ball as well as ever.
Net for serve.
Have to say that 10-minute break really benefited him.
Exactly.
Sort of got like a fourth wind in this match.
Out.
Going for a deep return, just missing.
30-40.
Another break point to save here for Chathura. Let's just see. Be interesting to see the tactics on the serve. Is he going to go for that slow kick out wide or go for a big serve? Went for the big one. Served an ace about 2-3 points ago.
Out.
That's just
Game. Dissanayake.
Sharmal couldn't have
Sharmal.
asked for anything better than that.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Off with a
this
break
is
where
ball to the
he
board.
did put pressure, but I would say it was kind of half gifted. Although gifted is too harsh a word to use in this situation.
I think yes. For the trainer from Chathura, so don't know whether he's actually struggling with a slight niggle. But yes, on the flip side, I think like if you looked at that last point, correct serve from Chathura, drew the short ball, but unable to fully exploit it. It'll be interesting to see if this is going to be like a medical timeout or just a consultation with the physio. Conversation with the referee ongoing. And no timeout. So
it's not going to be a medical timeout, but Chathura will continue.
Sharmal Dissanayake with the break in the fourth. Just a couple of days ago, he was questioning his own capacity to last a 4-setter or a 5-setter. He seems to be doing quite fine.
No, as long as he's dictating terms and as long as he's doing the running, I guess the duration of the match won't be such a big issue. Because from the beginning, irrespective of the score and the status of the match, it was almost as though Chatu was responding rather than dictating terms. Because he wasn't. There was a time when he did have the initiative, but he was still kind of not too sure of himself, and he was almost afraid to go through with what was successful for him.
Fault.
Recall that Sharmal was up a break in the second set as well before going on to lose that, so be interesting to see what happens here.
15-30.
He was not that he was up a break. He was down a break and he broke back.
Ah, yes, correct. Yes. What a shot. Unlucky for Chatu, but one of the better points played in the match there.
Right, yeah. I think Chatu did pretty much everything right in that rally.
Just very unlucky to catch a bad break with the net there. Yeah, as we look at it again, didn't even bounce in a way that he could have handled it. Still 30 all though, and Sharmal's not been looking that sprightly on his serve, so it's a chance here that he could really try to break. And there you go, exploiting the short serve. Good return across his body. Stands at break point to level things up in the fourth set.
Out. Game, Nilaweera. New ball.
That was a fairly unexpected
One game ball.
break back by Chatu, because I thought at 30-15 Sharmal was kind of getting ahead in every sense, but
Noticeably
wasn't a very well played service
slowing
game by
down
Sharmal.
serve. Change of balls now. It will be interesting to see how this influences the game. Neither of them big servers, so you can't say that it's really going to like boost their chances of holding serve. One all fourth set.
2 games played and 2 breaks of serve already.
Lovely serve. No sooner said than responded to. Just said that he wasn't. They're not big servers and he serves an ace.
Fault. Out. 30 love.
It's a risky return. Extra pace from the new balls and going across his body. Should really be trying to get that back cross court. That last break was a big one, I think.
Definitely,
Very well changed.
because otherwise Sharmal could easily have gone away with the match with the break.
40
He
love.
was hitting through the ball now. It was Chatu who looked like he needed the trainer at the end of the last game. Sharmal wilting slightly physically here.
Net for sir. Ball. No. Dia done. Out. Game, Nilaweera.
It's a very efficient service game. Holding to love.
Nilaweera lead 2-1.
Keeping himself in front in this fourth set. We'll have to see how Sharma is going to respond to this. Because there are two ways to go about it. One is to sort of go very efficiently or low energy on the fourth and anticipate a fifth.
Well, the thing is, I think that choice was almost made for Sharmal when he had when he got a break in the fourth set. I mean, that was the time where whatever his plans were.
Yes.
All he had to do was
Continue to hold serve,
his serve and just see where it would end up.
It just changes the complexion slightly. I mean, there have been matches before where strategically, even at the pro level, I've seen players giving away the fourth set to go into a fifth set fresh.
But also what I felt was that that service game at One Love didn't show a lot of energy where Sharma was playing.
Especially on the first serve, I think. Like, you need your legs on the serve. I mean, you never know what's actually going on with these guys. It's like when you're deep into a fourth set and if you're not in prime condition, that's where the cramping starts setting in and all that. So, and the serve is so reliant on legs. I'm sure it'll help both players that they're playing with new balls now, just to get a little bit of extra bite on the serve. These head balls slow down pretty fast, and we are playing on the slowest court in the SSC. At the SSC courts. It's a bad mistake there. One thing I didn't realize was that there are actually ball boys for this match, so that definitely helps the players a little bit. I think they would be hating to
walking, getting the balls, not only distracting but very disruptive to the rhythm.
Another big point, 15-30. Really have to wonder what Sharma's gonna do if he does go down a break here. Lovely shot. I was just about to say that's one of the cleanest backhands that Sharma struck, but Chathura beautifully using the pace to manufacture that drop shot, and then just had enough legs to get it past Sharma. I think it was that first slice that really set it up. Slightly despondent looking Sharma there. What a shot. Against the run of play.
30-40.
He's producing a backhand down the line out of nowhere. But encouraging signs for Chathura. He's striking the ball a lot better. Moving well at this stage. Definitely looks like the fresher of the two players.
Yes.
Called in, overruled by Chathura. Sharmal finding a big serve when he really, really needed one. It's probably his most effective serve of the match.
Ball. Out. Advantage, Dissanayake.
Seeing a slight repetition of pattern here from Chathura, had a few chances in the last set as well to go up a break, sort of threw them away.
For the last couple of games, Chathura has looked a little bit more organized, although he was a bit unfortunate with the last two shots in the execution. I think the pattern of play that he's trying to resort to is probably the one that would serve him well.
Game, Dissanayake.
just massive weight on that last backhand. Sharmal going for a change of wristbands. Not particularly humid today, but so 2-all it is. Still a lot to play for in this match. This service game though will be very critical because I just feel like Sharmal sort of gotten his rhythm back again. I think a lot of it is really mental with these guys, because if you have a look at how Sharmal played that game after going up a break, I feel like he just had a mental lapse. Didn't really force the issue. But now that he's worked his rhythm back in, what a volley. Very solid technique there on the backhand volley. No unnecessary movement. But again, set up with extreme weight of stroke. Like, it's definitely true. Like, when he hits this ball in balance, I don't think anybody hits it better in this country.
Yeah. I think the critical element of his game is to have that balance in order to execute it the way he does. You know, so he's not a person who thrives on hitting shots off balance.
Lovely serve. 2 great points there. Great response from Chathura. Well placed down the line, forehand followed by a huge serve. She's gonna need to manage these service points a little bit better. Take it to a point where he has a chance to break. Once again,
I think the key thing about serving with consistency or playing with consistency is you have to try and make your opponent take risks. You have to get your opponent to feel uncomfortable doing what he does comfortably. You know, so Chathura has not been doing that consistently enough, but I felt that the last 2 or 3 games he's kind of gotten into a rhythm which is kind of hurting Sharmal somewhat, where Sharmal is taking risks.
Definitely, despite the fact that he did win the second set, I think this is the best that Chathura's played. This passenger played the best he's played in the whole match.
Absolutely, I agree with you completely, because like you can feel that Sharmal seems uncomfortable with whatever that's coming at him from across the net.
I have to wonder how much if it is down to the ball change, to be honest.
So despite the dominance that a player can have in the early part of the set, all it needs is towards the business end of the set, 1 or 2 points played well, and then an error or 2 to have a break point, and that would be enough to win a set. So playing well and controlling the situation of the game are 2 things that have to be looked at differently. I mean, your rhythm, how well you play, is of no use if you are not winning the points at the crucial times.
Yes, definitely. And also I think one of the factors that probably we overlooked at the start of this set is that the court was watered at the end of the set.
Right.
It's just playing slightly slower. Players will be able to move a little bit better, not slip as much, but...
So underscoring the point that I made earlier was the fact that despite Chathura looking more dominant and more settled than he ever did in the whole match, the score is still 3-2 on serve and Sharmal serving at 15 love.
Yeah, it takes just a few points for it to flip around, to be honest. That's a huge serve. Smack on the line. Frustrated shot there from Chathura going single-handed. Can only think of the fact that he was frustrated about that first return of serve.
True.
Okay, Sharmal, there was nothing he could do about the second point. Fantastic backhand.
40-15.
That's the down the line paying off. Sharma still in the ascendancy in this game. That's a loose error.
40-30.
It just goes to show you, like, I think, okay, 40 love, great point from Chathura, but you serve a double fault and it's suddenly 40-30. There's a lot more pressure on the serve. Last 2 points have gone to your opponent. There's more momentum that way. Hard luck there. But interestingly, I think that's really the game plan he should be playing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Going high, slicing, waiting to set up that inside-out forehand.
And that is the kind of breaking of rhythm that Sharmal hates to have.
Yes. But if he's figured that out, this set, he's going to have to stick to that plan.
Ball. Ali.
From Chathura backfiring there and a slight sign of early cramps.
That was a bit of a worrying sign for Chathura and Chathura's camp.
So usually when you cramp, it's the serve that goes first. So
Ball.
the other problem is that you can't get treated for cramp at the change room. So, although of course I think there are ways to get around that if you really do. I really wonder if
15 all.
Sharma saw that and
That is true.
just give a little bit extra in this game. But that's a
And
great
also when
backhand.
you see your opponent's injury, that kind of, gives you that much more courage and energy and motivation.
Still having
But
said
also a fair dose of confusion as to what you should be doing to exploit it.
that, yes. Slight dispute over the call. That looked into me. And it is in, confirmed by Sharma. That's a big serve. So from love 15 and a sign of cramp, he's now just won the next 2 points. No doubt frustrate Sharma a little bit. This is actually
Point set up by a good serve.
it's actually quite interesting. I've seen this before when he cramped at the Nationals in the finals, where early signs of cramp, and he usually starts serving a lot bigger, Chathura, which makes you wonder why he doesn't do it from the first point. So he's absolutely going for it here, and
Net passer.
So he probably doesn't believe that that should be his game, air plan. Like,
it's thus far actually proving to be effective.
Game. Nilaweera. Nilaweera lead 4 games to 3.
That's a big hold. So we're deep into the fourth set.
I think Chatu, I think he should be putting a little bit of extra effort on the next service game from Sharmal. He should realize that this is a game that you should try and play a little bit out of your skin. He has the lead. Sharmal is serving,
and he would be serving to the set if he does break here.
Yes. So I think put in that extra effort, taking some chances. Something that he has to do now.
He's just having a look at the last game on Sharmal's serve. Was a bit sloppy from Chatu, but he can't ask for a better position at this point, being 4-3 up. It's a chance to break and really sort of force a fifth set if he does that.
Time.
I think it's a good test of character, and also the fact that they were able to go through a 5-set match, irrespective of who wins. I think it'll hold them in good stead and will give them motivation for them to pursue the next couple of tournaments as well, especially for Sharmal. I mean, like Chatu would anyway, I would expect him to play all the tournaments, but Sharmal would probably have renewed belief in his ability now, mostly more than the tennis ability, about his fitness and his ability to last the distance.
Big hitting from Sharmal. Dissanayake there. Chatu planted firmly behind the baseline. These are big moments in the context of the match. Sharmal taking his time, making sure he's fully locked in for the match. It's a great return.
Keeping all.
Sharmal potentially, I think, looking for a shorter forehand there, which is why he went to the Chatu forehand, but didn't work out that way. Definitely in terms of body language right now, you'd have to say Chatu looking the favourite to snap
Very
this set up.
clearly. I really don't think that was the smartest move, because he neither wrong-footed Sharmal nor was Sharmal way behind the baseline. It was like a very
Could have been a
chancy
slice
drop
cross
shot.
court.
Exactly, a slice drop shot, slice cross court would have been backhand slice to the cross court.
Still, he's made Sharmal run a bit on that point. Just have to see how that feeds into this next point. That's the ball that Sharma is looking for on the ad court.
40-15.
Got it that time, even though he was just slightly out of balance. Just striking ability coming to the fore again. Just to be able to hit a shot that heavy into the backhand corner requires some serious skill. It really makes you wonder, like, how good he would be if he was actually fit.
Out.
It's a bit of a waste. Good hold from Sharma after being down, after being at 15 all.
4 games all.
Quite a big hold. And
I think you
now
always wonder about what could be if Sharmal was fitter. Because
Yes.
the thing is, I think his game, getting the best out of his game, depends a lot on how fit and how long you can play the same level of consistency.
correct.
So it's not a game where you can just kind of put playing fits and starts. It's something that you got to play with.
But it also
Same
says
consistency
a
for a
lot
long time.
to the rest of the field that an unfit Sharma can still
Fault.
Absolutely.
win.
Absolutely. That should be a
So,
message for everyone
yes,
else,
everyone
I guess,
else.
more than to himself.
Fantastic approach shot again.
Love
Sharmal
15.
putting in the extra yards for this game. This is a huge game right here. Like, balls have slowed down a bit, so serve's not going to be as impactful.
Yeah, I think that's really making a big difference. I mean,
Yes.
beginning of the set, when the ball
Yes.
change happened, he was kind of having a bigger impact with his serves.
That's a good point. Nevertheless, finding the correct angle. Yes, I think at the beginning of the set that would have been an ace. So, just for context, Chathura absolutely flying through that shot. Lovely forehand. Just gonna hope for some more big serving here. Yep, that's a pretty brave approach shot going into the Sharmal forehand. Slightly surprised that Sharmal missed that, but still good move from Chathura to change up the rhythm of the point.
I think Chathura also feels that Sharmal's energy levels are low and like he's tired. I mean, that is
He's
why
not
he
going to
knows
react
that-
as well
yeah,
to these
exactly,
kind of
exactly.
situations, yes.
Ball.
Okay, second serve. He sort of strayed away from the wide serve to the backhand tactic a little bit. There it is back again, not with much angle, but still draws the error.
But
You can see Sharmal actually
Ball C15.
telling himself that he's missing that return at the time. I really think that serve up the middle should be running around it and trying to hit a
Ball.
forehand. I mean, again, this is someone who's got one of the best backhands we've ever seen in Sri Lanka.
Out.
But
And
still, if it's not
Nilaweera.
working on the day, I think you've got to go with what's working. So 5 for the Chathura. Sharmal will serve to stay in the set. It does look that there might be a chance that we might go the distance here.
Sharmal has been winning the serve on paper or on the scoreboard. It looked as though they were easy games, but they were very iffy kind of games. Although it was one at 30 and one at 15.
Yes.
It wasn't done with any kind of conviction as such, you know.
No, so I think the one thing that is pretty apparent here is that at the moment Chathura's finding more free points on his serve at this stage, whereas Sharmal's actually relying on slightly longer points and errors from Chathura. So like you'd have to say, okay, 4-5, there's a lot of pressure in this game. As you see there, one error there.
One shanked forehand plus 2 poor drop shots.
Yes.
That is what basically gave the game away. So
I think if he just locks down and plays a very solid game here, he's got all the chances to break. Just again seeing that serve to the backhand. Lovely shot from Sharmal. Chathura probably not taking hold of that return as he should have, because the serve wasn't really that big. Right into the slot to be hit, and he ends up giving a short backhand to Sharmal, who seems like he's gonna swing at the ball if he can. As he does there again, sheer weight of shot drawing the error. Pretty good return from Chathura. It's just that when Sharmal goes inside to hit the forehand, it's just on a different level.
Out. 40 love.
Sharmal must be very happy with the way this game is going, because I mean he did earn the first 2 points, but at 30 love, that's the time where Chathura should have hung on in that rally for a little bit longer rather than giving it away.
It's not the worst play, to be honest. Like, he got Sharmal off balance on the backhand, and then but he should have just made him play that forehand instead of trying to go for the line.
Goal.
Lovely backhand, beautiful shot. Just absolutely hit through it, so clean. Nothing wrong with that shot at all. Pulls the game back a little. Sharmal needs a big serve here, which he is going for. And another chance to pounce on a second serve.
That's a double fall there.
So I think Sharmal very well aware that his second serve is being looked at. Going for a little bit more.
That 40 love cushion gave him the opportunity to try a couple of things, but still. Another excellent backhand up the line, forcing the error from...
Slightly cagey from Chathura though, that return. I think he could have done a little bit more. Seth chose to play the ball, keep the ball in play. I mean, I think those are the types of points where if the really good players know how to pull the trigger, they'd probably run round, hit a forehand, do something like that.
I think entire game, okay. I think Sharmal dictated terms with two very well played first 2 points in that game.
Yeah.
But Chathura should realize that, get smart to that, and realize the importance of winning that point for him. So.
Sharmal in the ascendancy early in that point, but his lack of mobility just getting exposed there.
Right.
No, so yes, I think you probably can get away with some of this at the Sri Lankan level, but we're talking about boys who potentially, I think if we have a bunch of futures later on in the year, they're going to need to do better than that in order to compete with that level of player. Not going to get many chances to just hit a backhand in a very central position. Tough luck for Chathura there, but Sharmal just doing the work to get that ball in. Paid dividends in the end. But again, we'll have to see how much that's just taken off Sharmal for the rest of the game. Taking his time.
Even for Chathura, I think he should be converting those things. I mean, you
of course, yes.
Get Sharmal where you want to, and you're not able to jump all over him. So.
There he goes. Another drop shot. That's 3 drop shots in the game. He's won 2 of those points. And to be honest, I think with Sharma's legs at this stage, it's not such a bad play. The drop shot doesn't have to be that much on point. In contrast to the first set, where I think he was getting to them a lot more.
So at 30 all and second serve, Sharmal must be seeing an opportunity here.
Doesn't really step in on the second serve though. He's going to stay back and... That's an interesting turn of events. Sharmal managing to get that...
I'm not too sure whether it was an intentional.
No, it definitely wasn't. But he just had enough skill to make it over.
Right.
Chathura probably getting a bad bounce there. Just looking at the court.
That is the kind of backhand slice that even Chathura could have used at some point.
Yes.
But let's see.
Big point.
Very brave indeed to go for that.
Big point punctuated by a come on. Sharmal looking his way.
That break point, almost a virtual match point, one could say.
That's a great serve. It's a huge point there.
Advantage Nilaweera.
The right shot attempted by Chathura, but slight error in the execution.
Again, this just comes down to how many matches these guys are playing. I think if Chathura had an actual tour that he was on, those are probably shots that he'd be making.
Exactly, true.
So
excellent retrieving by Chathura. Although Sharmal had the point in his hand, Chathura's defending was able to get the point to him.
Wry smile from Sharmal as he looked at the umpire checking the mark. Yes, just slightly wide. Big reaction from Chathura there. But I think Sharmal just neglecting to put the ball in the open court there.
I think there were at least two clear occasions where he could have won the point.
But great retrieval, big point there. 5-all. Okay, second serve.
Another excellent return from Sharmal.
Come on from Sharmal as well. I think he knows how important this game is. But there it is. That's sort of the return I've been looking for. Just get round and hit the forehand instead of continuously hitting backhands. Big effort from Sharmal there to get to that ball. Again using the drop shot to his advantage well.
The drop shot was good in the sense that there was a change of direction as well that Sharmal had to maneuver.
Yes, that's a big hold.
That's the level of intensity in his game that which Chathura should bring in, especially at this stage of the set.
Nilaweera leads 6 games to 5.
The last 2 or 3 points were played very well by Chathura, and I believe that that is the kind of tennis that he should be playing even during the service game that Sharmal would be having.
So this is really the situation that Sharmal wouldn't have hoped for, going deep into the fourth with the potential of having to play a fifth.
So the fact that we see this kind of bursts from Chathura every once in a while has been the story of the game so far. It has been a very intense game. It has been very exciting in that sense.
I mean,
the
I wouldn't say the
score
quality
has
of
been
tennis
close,
has been
but
the highest.
The level of tennis was far from being the best. It was very cagey from both players. It was like cat and mouse most of the time, and there were spells where there were right kind of tactics used by them, but on the whole the game was more a game of chess rather than
outright
pretty,
outright clean hitting or anything like that. But yeah, I think at the same time it's been very interesting to watch how the tactics have changed from time to time. I mean, right there, that break point, how almost every single big point on the ad court Chathura has decided to go down the centre, whereas previously he was going out wide.
Right. You feel that Chathura is trying to play with more intensity now. I hope he doesn't get discouraged by the loss of a early point in the game, because this is the approach he should be taking, because you should realize that Sharmal is struggling as well, and Sharmal will play better when he's 30 love up naturally.
Yeah. Big game here. It's a huge moment in the match right here. Sort of underlines the fact that what a best of 5 the difference they can make, really. But here you're seeing lovely shot.
That was a point where he absorbed everything that Sharmal had to put at him, and kind of, was still there in the rally.
The match from Chathura, to be honest.
Excellent.
Really stayed with that forehand and made sure it went through it, used the pace properly. Set point.
So that excellent counter drop by Chathura has given him 2 set points.
What a shot. Excellent pick up to save a set point.
30-40.
Almost like a half volley flick by Sharmal that kind of worked his way. Still has 1 more set point.
Second serve, big point. Oh, that's just too good.
Backhand by Sharmal.
Having said that, I think going cross-court to the backhand so short, it's a set point.
Just giving him that
little
room
bit
and
more of a
little bit
risk.
preparation time. That's all that Sharmal needed. No second invitations. Double fault, how costly could that be?
Huge point right there.
3rd set point for Chathura.
Net for serve.
Again, short return, huge ground stroke from Sharmal. Just needs to take a risk on one of these points, a little bit more, go up 1 gear for Sharmal to hit off the back foot instead of giving him time to prepare and actually unwind on that stroke.
Especially if he does get a second serve, he needs to step in.
Oh, that's just fantastic hitting from Sharmal.
I think Chathura should have a little bit more belief, stay a little bit more in the rally if it is necessary.
Dissanayake.
Because that was he forced that drop on himself. I mean, I don't think that was the right time.
It again shows you how good Sharmal is when he's balanced. Like, I think the primary move should be to get him on the back foot, off balance. There you go. Yeah, lovely shot, just staying with the ball again. Not lifting early. It's a bit of a waste, but still the right play. Going for
I think
a
trying to
deeper
go deep
return,
and
yes.
trying to push him on the back foot is what he has to do. I mean, trying that and failing is...
Yes, and if this
not
does
a
go to a
setback.
tie break, at least he'll have some rhythm. Again, brilliant pickup from Sharmal. Just giving everything that he's got at this point.
Saving 3 set points and
Every last bit.
fighting on to go into a tie break in the 4th set now.
You just have to think that a victory like this would mean a lot more than a complete straight set victory, because he sort of defied the odds in the 4th set. Having said that, you have to also wonder what losing would be to the psyche of Sharmal. Like if Chathura can actually like lock down and pull this off. I think there is no question though that if he does commit himself fully to the game, he's just going to be at the top.
Right.
Once again, Sharmal's striking ability just coming to the fore. Like, what a return right there. So heavy back to the baseline, drawing the error. It's just a matter of 7 points, so you're going to have to feel like he's going to really go for it here. And Chathura, his job is going to have to be to weather the storm and somehow take this to a 5th. Again, brilliant play. 2-love up in this context is huge.
2-0.
Just knows that he has to get a handful of points to get over the line. He's just going to throw everything at Chathura at this point.
Chathura will have to make good tennis decisions during these next few rallies.
I
because
think he just needs to
take
slow it
chances.
down. Yeah,
He needs to break serve and hold serve.
That's-
There's one.
that's a gift.
So he got a mini break back.
return from Chathura, but essentially a slight letdown there from Sharmal. Yes, I think what Chathura will have to try and do is take risks on his big shots and drag the pointers for as much as he can, sort of move him up and down. I mean, there's only been one real point I can remember where he went high, and a little surprised he hasn't used that tactic a little more. Calling it in. The TV crew says it's out. The TV crew says it's out. That's a big
For the lack of a mark.
It's a lack of a mark, but I think the ball was out. The ball was essentially out, so I mean, of course, the umpire's initial call will stand. There you go again. That was
I
just
think
out.
that was out. That was out.
Very unlucky.
Sharmal was very lucky, I would say.
Very unlucky. How that would influence this match? Like you know it's part of the game, but you don't want a call to decide a match.
Exactly. Yes.
For a huge serve, I think there was a let called on the first one. Once again, lack of positioning hurting Sharmal there.
Dissanayake.
I would say that was the opportunity that Sharmal had, that net forward short
Still
ball.
very cagey in the tiebreak here. What a shot.
Very good backhand there by Sharmal.
So that's a big backhand, and he's going in to the change of ends with a mini break. Every little break, I think, helps Sharmal at this point.
4-2 and serving, and if he's able to get up to 5-2, I think you would see him taking a couple of chances on Chatu's serve. On the other hand, I think Chatu really has to.
Yeah, but I think the way this match has been played, even match point is no guarantee.
True, there's no rhythm. There's no rhythm to anything. I mean, I don't think momentum was used by anybody effectively at all. It was almost like a luck of the draw kind of thing at every stage.
They both seem to be getting inspired at different times.
Right.
Sort of countering the other player. That's a brilliant play. Chatu absolutely on top of the ball throughout that point.
4-3, Dissanayake.
And also he didn't let go ultimately when the chance came for him to make use of it. So he needs to believe that that kind of thing, him indulging in that kind of rally is going to work for him. Needs to have that belief.
Three, 4. Pretty high attendance for this match as it draws to its oh, he's missed that.
Very poor shot selection by Chatu, but he was very lucky that Sharmal wasn't able to put that away.
Interesting at this point. So I was just about to say as the match draws to its conclusion, but we have no guarantee that it is.
True, exactly.
4-all. Chatu seeking some divine inspiration for these last few points.
Oh, he was thankful for the intervention that he got.
What a change up from Sharmal there. A slice to move Chatu. I don't think he's used that the whole match. And just brings it out at 4-all in the fourth set tiebreak. Opens up the court and then two fantastic backhands. Just makes you wonder why he's not used that shot throughout the whole match. Slice down the line.
I don't think Chatu has been that clear about how to approach the opponent. And he has been kind of reacting to situations rather than reacting to the player or the situation of the game.
Again going for a big backhand.
Huge error by Sharmal at that time.
I mean, I understand you're trying to pull the trigger, but that ball probably demanded again a heavy cross court.
True, true.
Big point here. Big point.
That was very close to being a double fault.
And there you go. Championship point for Sharmal off a judicious second serve.
6-5,
But I think it just caught Chatu out of balance. Yes, you could see Chatu cheating towards the backhand side.
Right. The sharpness
Yes.
at the end was the thing that made the difference.
So it's a surprise change-up serve.
Now I'm sure he will go with quick serve to the backhand.
And there it is. Sharmal Dissanayake, champion.
In the end, depending on what he does best,
At
Chathura wondering what he should do differently in order to win.
So Sharmal pulling off a pretty cagey but a memorable victory.
I think for him, it was more than trying to prove a point to anybody else. It was a point that he proved to himself.
Yes, for sure. I think like fantastic effort from himself. I think just going into this match, I'm not sure if he completely believed he could last more than 3 sets, but he's just proven that he can. And a slight smile on Sharmal's face, as you see.
A sign of relief more than anything else. And
yes. But yes, it's been great to commentate on this match. I think slightly more interesting match than last year. Yes,
definitely, I would think so. And also the fact that there was so much that you had to read into the game other than the tennis you saw on the court.
Correct.
Meant that it is something that.
But it'll be interesting to see what happens for the rest of the season now that Sharmal's actually pulled this off. Is he gonna keep with the game, stick to the game? I think this has made a huge difference.
I believe Sharmal would now at least pick and choose and play a few tournaments, knowing that he can compete up there, and the only thing that will be holding him back is something that he can work on himself, which is his fitness and his belief that he can last long. So even today, despite the fact that he wasn't 100% by way of mobility and all that, he was still able to get the best out of him when it was required.
Yes, you'd have to wonder how Chathura will view this match. I mean, he's not been playing as much as well. Like you'd have to say that this is not a case of a player who's been practicing against a player who's not. They've both not had any matches over the last few months. But going forward, I think perhaps encouraging signs for them both. But I think Chathura will feel like he should have had that match in the bag. So anyway. So as we see a recap of the
end of the match, sees the preparations being made for the on-court prize distribution for the singles.
Okay, so thanks for joining us for the finals of the SSC Open 2023. You'll be joining the presentation ceremony soon. And it was a pleasure commentating with you again, Aruna, for the second year in a row.
Yeah, it was lovely commentating with you as well.
And hopefully I'll see you next year.
You'll have a better post-commentary evening than you did last year.
Yes, of course. I don't want any getting COVID again.
All right.
Anyway.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you a lot, and good
See
night.
you next year.
ලොකු වැඩක්ද?
නෑ කමක් නෑ කියන්න.
බිග් මැච් එක කවද්ද?
රසක් මේ අපේ තැනක් හැම හදවතකම රැඳෙන නමක් වසර 120ක් පුරා ශ්‍රී ලාංකේය රස හඳුනන අපිට ලංවුණු අපේ කමේ සංකේතය PNS
Did you submit the report?
Not yet.
When is the big match?
මීටින් එක ඉවරද?
ඔව් අනේ.
බිග් මැච් එක කවද්ද?
අපේ රසක් මේ අපේ තැනක් හැම හදවතකම රැඳෙන නමක්
වසර 120ක් පුරා ශ්‍රී ලාංකේය රස හඳුනන අපිට ලංවුණු අපේ කමේ සංකේතය PNS.
ලොකු වැඩක්ද?
නෑ කමක් නෑ කියන්න.
බිග් මැච් එක කවද්ද?
අපේ රසක් මේ අපේ තැනක් හැම හදවතකම රැඳෙන නමක්
වසර 120ක් පුරා ශ්‍රී ලාංකේය රස හඳුනන අපිට ලංවුණු අපේ කමේ සංකේතය PNS.
Did you submit the report?
Not yet.
When is the big match?
මීටින් එක ඉවරද?
ඔව් අනේ.
බිග් මැච් එක කවද්ද?
අපේ රසක් මේ අපේ තැනක් හැම හදවතකම රැඳෙන නමක්
වසර 120ක් පුරා ශ්‍රී ලාංකේය රස හඳුනන අපිට ලංවුණු අපේ කමේ සංකේතය
Catch the excitement real time. Be up to date with it all. Let us capture your milestones. Get it sizzling hot off the turf. Hear the experts break it down. Dig deep into the nitty-gritties. Be inspired by their greatness. Relive all the scintillating action.
අපේ රසක් මේ අපේ තැනක් හැම හදවතකම රැඳෙන නමක්
වසර 120ක් පුරා ශ්‍රී ලාංකේය රස හඳුනන අපිට ලංවුණු අපේ කමේ සංකේතය PNS.
ලොකු වැඩක්ද?
නෑ කමක් නෑ කියන්න.
බිග් මැච් එක කවද්ද?
මීටින් එක ඉවරද?
ඔව් අනේ.
බිග් මැච් එක කවද්ද?
Did you submit the report?
Not yet.
When is the big match?
අපේ රසක් මේ අපේ තැනක් හැම හදවතකම රැඳෙන නමක්
වසර 120ක් පුරා ශ්‍රී ලාංකේය රස හඳුනන අපිට ලංවුණු අපේ කමේ සංකේතය PNS.
நேரடி ஒளிபரப்பு யாழ்ப்பாணத்தில்
මාතර කොටවිල ගම්පියසට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. සිද්ධාස
ඇඩ්මොරටුව
පියගම මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ක්‍රීඩාංගණය
கிழக்கு மாகாணம்
Sugaddas Indoor Stadium
is the Fox Hill Supercross.
රුණෑගල සිටි ඇතුගල් පුරවරය
Papare.com අපි අද ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නේ නුවරඑළිය ප්‍රදේශයේ.
ෆයිනල් ෂෝඩවුන් කැන්ඩි ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ක්ලබ්
පොළොන්නරුව ජාතික සංකීර්ණයේ සිට
Catch the excitement real time. Be up to date with it all. Let us capture your milestones. Get it sizzling hot off the turf. Hear the experts break it down. Dig deep into the nitty-gritties. Be inspired by their greatness. Relive all the scintillating action.
අපේ රසක් මේ අපේ තැනක් හැම හදවතකම රැඳෙන නමක්
වසර 120ක් පුරා ශ්‍රී ලාංකේය රස හඳුනන අපිට ලංවුණු අපේ කමේ සංකේතය PNS.
Hello and welcome back to Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, the Papare.com. We are live from the Sinhalese Sports Club tennis courts. We've just finished the first Capital SSC Open Ranking Tennis Championship 2023 Gentlemen's Singles Final between Sharmal, Dissanayake and Chathura, Nilaweera. Sharmal, Dissanayake winning it 4-6. I beg your pardon, 6-4, 4-6, 6-3 and 7-6 in a tiebreaker which ended 7-5. We are just about ready with the presentation ceremony as I hand over the proceedings to Dinishki Ranasinghe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the awards presentation ceremony of the first Capital SSC Open Tennis Championship Gentlemen's Final. Firstly, congratulations to Sharmal Dissanayake for winning the Gentlemen's Final in an exhilarating match. And also to Chathura Nilaweera for putting up a valiant effort. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. To jump into the evening's proceedings, it's my pleasure to invite Mr. Wasantha Wijesekara, Honorary Secretary of the SSC, Mr. Surya Bibile, Chairman of the SSC Tennis House Committee and member of the Executive Committee, Mr. Arjun Fernando, National Selector and former Davis Cup and National Champion, Mr. Chammika De Silva and Mr. Aruna Senaviratna, the tournament directors of this year's tournament, to join us in front. Also to Mr. Randinit Madanayake, Head of Marketing at First Capital Holdings PLC. I now invite Mr. Wasantha Wijesekara, Honorary Secretary of the SSC, to present the runner-up trophy. To Mr. Chathura Nilaweera. I now invite Mr. Arjun Fernando to present the Arjun Fernando Challenge Trophy to Mr. Sharmal Dissanayake. And now, I invite Mr. Randinit Madanayake, Head of Marketing, First Capital PLC, and the main sponsor of the First Capital SSC Open Tennis Championships 2023, to award the Champions Trophy to Mr. Sharmal Dissanayake. Chathura, if you could join us and maybe share your experience on the tournament and say a few words.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone, thank you for coming. There's a saying, work hard until your idols become your rivals, and I think today was a day like that. You know, watching players like Sharmal, Harshana, Dinesh and Yasda competing, I mean growing up, watching them play, I always wanted to, you know, play at that level or maybe come closer. I guess I'm still not there, but you know, it's a matter of time, I guess. it's not easy losing, but that's the way tennis is. There's a one winner and one loser, but so many positive things to take out from this match. I would like to first thank my parents and my brother. He always give me warm-ups, which he only. Giving me warm-ups whenever I wanted, and my parents were always there when I wanted. Also would like to thank Niranjan sir, Renuk sir, and all the coaches I had. Dinesh sir, Krisant sir, Bagi sir, Bharati sir, Coach Lee. Would like to thank every one of them. And also to thanks to the officials, referee, Mufi Ayya, all the umpires, the SSC committee, Arun uncle, Chamik uncle, Surya uncle, and Arjun uncle Chamik uncle, I hope I said all the names, for organizing this, and also special thanks to Papare for showing this live. It's a nice feeling to play in front of a live in front of a audience, and also having it live broadcasted. It's my first time, and there was a lot of new things which I learned. So yeah, thanks to everyone, and I would like to thank Tehan. Whenever I come from a break or something, I taking a long break and I want to play, I was like, bro, can we play? And he always like, yeah, varenga hamu kiyala. So I would like to thank him for always, playing with me and, partnering me in doubles. And whenever we play, we always try to push each other to the next level. And I think I wouldn't be the player I am today because if it wasn't for him. So I'd like to thank him also for everything. So yeah, I don't want to take much of time, but yeah, all credits goes to Sharmal, and thank you.
And now to our champion of the evening, Sharmal Dissanayake.
First of all, I want to thank all the sponsors for this event, First Capital and Pereira & Sons Head for the balls, and then Dimo also for a successful event, and then I have to thank the club members. I'm also a SSC member, so thanks a lot for hosting the event. SSC is always, when they host it, they make sure they leave a mark, and this time also the committee has done a brilliant job to leave a mark. And then also I want to thank Chathura's team. They have done a really good effort, and he still has a long way to go, and hopefully he has many more years, and then we can see him doing not well only in Sri Lanka and the local events, but internationally also when representing all our events. And then I want to thank my team, especially Dinesh and then Sylvester. They are the two few guys who really supported me to come back and play some tennis, because I stopped tennis for a couple of years and for various reasons, and they were a big motivation me to play, and I'm still a long way to get into my best, but hopefully let's see soon I can come to my best and maybe represent Sri Lanka again. And and then I want to thank the umpire for today's match. I think he's not here, Anjana, and then of course Mufi for refereeing this event. Scheduling and everything worked out very well, and the weather also played out very well for us. And of course the ball boys who were there today, they did a brilliant job. I think it must be their first time, but they actually did like professionals today. And then of course I have to thank my parents as well. They supported me every time, even I play tennis or not. Anything I do, they're always there for my support and for my advice. So a big thanks for them also. And for least, I want to thank Papare for hosting the match live, and making it a really memorable match. Hopefully I get the clip. And then that, yeah, so I hope everyone have a good evening and enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good evening.
That ends the awards presentation for today in the First Capital SSC Open Tennis Championship 2023. The gentlemen's singles final winner Sharmal Dissanayake coming back after break, defeating Chathura Nilaweera 6-4, 4-6, 6-3 and 7-6. And in the ladies singles final, which was held in the morning, it was Sajida Razik who defeated Nyara Veeravansa on her way to bagging the ladies singles final as well. So that ends the production from the Singley Sports Club tennis courts for the Papare.com production and technical crew. This is me, Nawad Vijay Vikramas, signing off for the Papare.com, sharing the passion.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. Try to catch me howling at the moon.